again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am filled with love and ideas and all sorts of things I hope to share once again today. So, brothers and sisters, sincerely, thank you. Thank you to all of you who find your way, especially here live, but not just here live, because many tune in later. Blessings to all of you and my sincere gratitude. There's something greater happening with us all here in the world. And I hope you can feel the present moment and the joy that's available with the blessings that are all around. Because truly, the topic today, man, I tell you what, only the optics are high. And I know the optics are high, man, because the optics are so high that they're high. And greetings to all of you, man. Plasma Void, thank you. Yesterday was a cool show, and today I'm feeling good. I'm feeling inspired, hopeful what it might be. Oh, here, Olivia Blue, Jack Talcott. Might you consider the plight of the Native American Indians within your world-changing thoughts? I appreciate it. Yes. Yes, I have been moved and inspired by what I have learned and the way that the native cultures, particularly here in America, have been dismissed, neglected, oppressed, and ignored. It's shameful. So yes, I've grown up my views on the natives and the folks on the Indian reservations. It changed quite a bit. It's time that justice be found in these lands, and that might be tough because a lot of blood has been shed here in the land of America and abroad, and all in the name of, right, the illusions of freedom. As we've got a commander-in-chief building his own private army with the ICE squad. Fuck ICE. Here, now I'm getting off topic, but the thumbnail today, reminder in the background today, delight in the Lord, right? Let's delight in the Lord together. And Jack, get away from that F people, right? Today's Tao quote. Think about this thought and spend some time in it for yourself. You'll see if it's true or not, but all that we know of, every thought we could ever consider, it's from life, and life is through God. And the more I thought about these words, the more I was like, wow, this is just perfect, man. All that we know of is from life through God. And if God is love, yes, all that we know of is from life through love. And if God is the truth, yes, all that we know of is life through truth, right? And God is life. All that we know of is from life through life itself. And Jesus said these things. He says, I am the truth, the way, and the life. All that we know of is from life through the way that life is. God is, man. All that we may know of in our lives, it's found through our unique relationships with God, with love, and with life and with time. Time, right? Time is a factor that's easily forgotten, as is consciousness is a factor that's easily forgotten, right? Levels of knowing, levels of knowledge, awareness of different things. Every one of us has our own blind spots, man. And it's up to each of us to learn how to see. Praise God. God's way, the truth that is the way of life, the way that Jesus taught and showed. It's the only way to be. For when you be with the presence, you just surrender you and tune in to the knowing that is with you. That's what I feel like I'm doing. I've got some notes and reminders of the general direction I want to take this pattern of consciousness that I am, but I'm just tuning in, right? I'm tuning in to the life that this character, Jack Talcott, has lived. And then I'm tuning in to the feelings, what my heart desires for me to share. And what my heart truly desires for me to share is this love of God and this love for life that I found. It's priceless, dude. It is so worth the cost. The cost is you sacrifice your 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 control, I guess. You sacrifice your desire to worry, to be angry, to be afraid, to be hurt. You sacrifice those weaknesses away from you, and then you walk with the love of Jesus in your mind, in your heart. It's the practice I've been trying to follow. Did I? I want to go back because some of you guys, right? Um, hey, yes, it's in my heart. I really do. I've got the heart. There's so much to be learned. There is so much that the modern average American trapped in this friggin' pavement and concrete lifestyle, there's so much that has been forgotten, not known, never learned by some of these current generations. All the kids just addicted to their cell phones and their technology. But there's wisdom from our ancestors. And me, I'm a mixed bag, man. I do and I don't know where I came from, but praise God. I don't know why I was talking about that, but who I am, I've learned. There's a lot to be learned from our elders. Okay. That's one of the things I regret. My grandfather was born 1900, lived through the Depression and the First World Wars as a young man. And then I met him when he was a really old man and he was cranky. But, I regret not spending time understanding him, the stories that he's learned. I didn't see the value of wisdom from the elders when I was a kid. I was just, I don't know. But it's never too late. And what's good for the one is good for the many. And truly, if each of us and collectively, we do a better job of reaching back into our past to learn from the ancestors, right? What struggles did they have? What knowledge did they possess? They lived differently than we did, but the wisdom is the same. And we have so much to learn about how people interact with nature. And many of the indigenous cultures have passed a lot of the knowledge on, but a lot of the knowledge is finally being more recognized in the modern science. But if we bring these two together, we bring in the ancient knowledge and the modern discoveries. Who, baby, heaven on earth is ours to create. Um, hey, and I do plan on dropping the link here soon, but part of me is if I'm going to be doing this broadcasting thing, which I guess is what it is, live streaming each day, the white man's Jesus pretty much messed up. It's not just it's the glorification of so many different things, the religions, the well, and here regarding the past traditions, not all of the past traditions were healthy. We can recognize that, but we can certainly do a better job of learning, right? If only, I don't know that they could have. Please, I wouldn't say that. If only is a word that, that makes us feel wrong. But it happened like it happened. And I don't know that your people, the original people, could have stood up more to the white man. If anything, diplomacy, it was just missing. It was lacking. And that was the great part on the explorers, right? But at the same time, folks move in. How open are you going to be to them settling in on what you've known and where you've been? It's a fascinating development, mankind, through the discovery of all the different tribes and cultures and nature, and yeah, tribes and cultures and traditions. But this is what I recognized a while ago. We've been around long enough, right? Shouldn't really be too surprised by someone of a different color, different identity, right? Different whatever, different languages, different customs. We shouldn't be that surprised by that anymore. And in many ways, we can communicate. We've got translators and all sorts of communication devices that help us better communicate with each other. But one thing that's been lacking is the willingness for us to connect and to communicate. And by the way, thank you to all of you. I'm kind of trying to catch up. I am Bex. Is there an imposter of you? You know, the imposters, yeah. There's so many things here. Happy Friday, friends and foes, to all gathered, to all the enlightened and obsessed losers, welcome to you all. Oh, Browns boy, you are just on loop, aren't you? Once you break out of your ruts and find a new song to sing, oh, you'll be so much better. But let's see what today is. New Age LARPer, NLP propagandist actor with 5+ oaths as federal agent and military counterintelligence, friends at J6, friends at Vegas shooting, claims he still holds oath to this day. I got clips, and if you want clips, you go to Browns Boy. I tell you what, brother, he has got me figured out, doesn't he? So if you got any questions for me, please don't bother. Go straight to that character there, Browns Boy. He's got me figured out, and you know what? No one can gaslight him. That's for sure. He is on the watch. He's got it figured out, man. Oh, yeah. Dude, Golden Renaissance. Yeah, Browns Boy. Come on, man. Don't forget the ricin letters, too. There's a connection to me to the ricin letters as well. Possible anthrax. It's all connected to the bioterrorism. Biohazards are everywhere, man. And that Jack Talcott, whoo, you don't want to be caught with him. That's the story that many share. It's friggin' hilarious, man. And you know what? I am having fun today. And besides some short clips, I don't really have much. I mean, I do. I've got half a page of notes and a mind and heart filled with ideas. But for those who do want to join the conversation today, please feel free. The link is now pinned to the top of the chat for those who are present. It's like, holy cows. Dude, I can outsmart the outsmarters. I'm confident of that, especially if I include myself in the group of the outsmarters, because I've outsmarted me many times, and I consider myself pretty to be a pretty smart feller. Um, but I know how I can sound. You, dude, I don't deny any of it. You've got the clips, man, and I've got more clips as well. I mean, the truth is, uh, oh, what was it I said? Yeah, the truth is, I just like choose words to like mean things, and it's crazy what happens.
You're just choosing words to mean a thing, but you don't. You,
Right? So don't forget that, Browns boy. I'm just like choosing words to mean a thing, right? So include that in your accusations or descriptions, brother, because you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to be accused of missing out on some dirt on Jack that you could have easily got him on, man. I mean, come on, dude. The clips are right there. You just got to see it. And damn, True 101, dude. True, like not just okay, good. See, he's like watching out for Tommy too, man. This guy, True, he is constantly on me. I got like improve, Jack, improve. You're not worthy. Get better, Jack. You sure put your foot in your mouth this time, Jack. Eventually, I'm bound and determined, man. I might just get the approval of the likes of True and Tommy. And when that happens, man, my life will be different. I tell you what, I know our live streams and our conversations will be different. I think actually, I was actually saying this earlier because yesterday, after yesterday's live stream, I found myself to proper instruction motivates people. I shared time with Paula Enslaved, and I know that confuses a lot of people too when I do that, but I did. And I was thinking today about how much fun it could be. What a wild card it would be, first off, right? That would be a miracle if this could happen. But if somehow, some way, me, Illumitami, and Paula Enslaved found a way to work together. Oh my God, it would be hilarious and just mind blowing. But of course, it would have to be a mind blowing experience that convinces the likes of Tommy and Paul not just to work with me, but to work with each other too. But Paul might be open to working with Tommy. I mean, he's extended the invitation before. I don't know. I can't speak for anyone. I just know what's up with me. And you know what, Jeeps, that's a good question. I don't know. Um, I don't know where our poll is. And I was considering earlier, I did do a disrespect to him. I removed the mod from him and didn't speak with him. And in consideration, that wasn't right. I could have done better. My excuse is I tried to speak with him before and it felt like I wasn't heard. And this is true to some degree, Browns boy. Tom and Jack have slept in the same bed at a Hollywood talent agent's house. It was different times, correct. Okay, let that part be clear. Tom and Jack at different times have slept in the same bed. Now that Hollywood talent agent's house, you know, possibly true. I'm hoping to get on the big screen and get productions made and be a part of something like that. So you seem to be on that page, right? It was on, yeah, it's all right. Is it, Jeeps, I know there's a lot of complaints about me, but I saw what I saw. I didn't see loyalty or respect. So I just figured, hey, there's none available for me. I'm not actually being respected by what I'm seeing. I'm not being really supported or heard. So, hey, why is it up to me to continue being disrespected and just ignored? At some point, I got to cut the cords. So does everybody. If you've got people in your life that just can't appreciate you, they got no respect for you and what you do, you might want to reevaluate your attachment, your loyalty, because I've been faced with that quite a bit. And I am loyal to people and I put up with a lot of crap and I'm very reasonable and I accept most people's ideas, but yeah, see, this is just it. People should talk about you the same way in your presence as they do behind your back. And I didn't actually see that from some of the people, such as young Landry, who our poll is certainly on, seems to be on board with, right? And our friend Stephen, who our poll was certainly well on board with. So it's fascinating. Hey, bless you. Jeeps, you're an I've become a fan of yours as well. Okay. You're an interesting character and you're fun. Who's here? What do you think would happen? Oh, if he falsely accused everyone like he does, yeah, there would be physical harm. There's no doubt. Some of the people actually said some of the things they say, behaved like they do online. If people do, yeah, there could be like serious harms. And this is actually why I'm very willing to confront people's behavior online, because I'd love to try and prevent them from carrying that type of behavior offline. Um, this is, hey, thank you, Crystal Shaman. Thank you for this. This is an honest witness. I see it too. People talk so much shit about me. It's like that's a common bond for people. Oh, Jack Talcott? Yeah, let's shit on him together. And then they feel better about themselves, but then they show up with me with a smile, and like everything's good. And it's like, wow, dude. But hey, I am who I am, and I'm committed to being a good dude. I really am. And loyalty can really be a double edged sword, but we are what we are. What I've chosen to, my number one commitment for me is a loyalty to the truth, right? My number one commitment is a loyalty to the truth, even above love. But my next loyalty is to love for sure, because in my own personal path, and I consider it symbolically confirmed through Jesus. It is through love of the truth that I found the truth. And the truth, in my love for the truth, it brought me to God. And that's what Jesus is for, to bring us to the knowing of God. And here's something I was considering earlier. I know how it sounds, but I actually feel like I am truly understanding God. Now, what levels and what to do with what I've feel I know, well, that's to be determined. It's all up to God. That's one thing I've realized. There's a God, the Father, who allowed Jesus to be known, to perform the miracles, the one that allowed Jesus to be hung on the cross. That one that brings the days into being, right? Breathes life into you and me. We are within the mind of God. It's like we are within this womb. We're in the development stages, becoming refined in our characters, right? To prepare us for the heavenly ages. And the heavenly ages are when God allows, truly. But I've been through my own path, right? I've had my own internal day of judgment, baptized, been hung on a cross, left to die, right? I've been through my own punishments and suffering, and I found truly what Jesus was saying. It's it's the only way to be. The way he showed of forgiveness, love, mercy, compassion. It's the only way to be. For that's God's will for us. It follows a perfect order of logic. I mean, I put it in the description each day regarding justice and righteousness are the natural order for life. Now, those justice and righteousness are through, I guess, perspective and observation, experience, but all that we know of, good and bad, it is from life. Life is through God. It's through God's will that we are. Now, what happens from there? I don't know where the beginning is, where our power takes over, but I know what worked for me. Okay, what worked for me is a constant practice of prayer, meditation, seeking mindfulness, right? Constant practice to bring my mind into the present moment and staying here in the now. Because as you become united with the eternal present of now, the past and the future, they really lose their control over you. They're not such a big power because you're just here present with the eternal presence of God's awareness, right? God's fully aware of everything, internal, external. God knows it's all that it is. We're in this field of consciousness, and each of us has the mind and technology. The body can tune in to the consciousness of your frequencies and your life path, your karmic tune. I don't know. It's complicated in idea, but really what life is pretty simple. If you allow it to be simple, you'll find it to be simple. If you think it's tough, you'll find it to be tough. In the end, it's all up to you. However, right, where do you start and end? Which part of you is living? All these questions, right? They're the questions that the Eastern philosophies, right? The meditative practitioners. These are the things that humans, other people like you and me, they sat and tried to solve. Going within to discover the different levels of awareness, tuning in to the different sensations, the different senses, because that's who we are. We're a gathering of memories and senses. We sense the sensations. We're just part of a dream of life. Some dreams feel good, some dreams are pretty painful. In the end, they're just experiences of consciousness. And at some point, you wake up. I woke up on many different times and many different levels. And some people find a way to wake up through like the plant medicines, the psychedelics, and different trips, man. Each of us is on a different life path. The goal, though, well, the goals are many, as are the paths, but the destination is the same. The destination is to realize your wholeness and your fullness of your beingness. Because your being has a purpose. And that purpose is greater than you, just like me and mine. I feel like I found my purpose, my calling. Seems to be where I am. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. And a question for you, a little distraction from the path, but I invite you to invite others. The question: do you know Jack Talcott? Have you found Jack Talcott yet? Might be time. The time is coming. The time is happening. I notice my numbers haven't really been growing a lot yet, but I feel the time is happening, and God has something in store for me, just like you. If you can believe it, it'll be true. But if you want to deny it, no, it's not possible. There's nothing special about you, Jack, and there's nothing special about me. Or maybe there's something special about me, but there's nothing special about you. Well, okay, whatever you want to believe is up to you. That's the point. Whatever you want to believe is up to you. You don't have to accept what is real. What is real is God. God's love. I feel God's love to be true. That's why I claim to know it. Because I feel it and I sense it. And I see the evidence of God's love in my memories, in the blessings, in my safety, my comfort, my survival, the fact that I've been able to continue this life I'm living the way that I've been living it. It kind of defies logic, and yet it still follows a perfect order. I bet your life is very similar to that too. Some of the things you experience, some of the experiences you went through, maybe they defied logic, certainly defied fairness. I mean, any objective witness would agree. Everything we experience and go through, though, there's a purpose, especially if you make it through. If you make it through, it's for the refinement, to gain that experience, that wisdom that comes through, the persevering, that courage and strength that comes through the overcoming. That makes sense in the greater level of why God would allow the darkness and the light. It's all part of a natural cycle. It's just a flow. It's not that big of a deal. Life and death is just the same thing. It's just part of it naturally. We don't have to, we get the opportunity to celebrate anything we want, anytime we want, whenever we allow ourselves and the moment is appropriate. When is it appropriate to celebrate while others are suffering? I mean, what's the proximity difference that you should really let it affect you? Clearly, you don't want to celebrate in the face of suffering, but Arctic Timberwolf, Jack, are you Jesus? No. However, I am committed to living the rest of my life following his way. I invite the spirit, the essence, the energy of Jesus to be with me each day. And I do pray often. Please allow Jack to get out of the way so that the light of Christ may be shared, may be shown through me, so that I live My prayer and my hope is this: to follow in the way of Jesus. This is my dream. As he said, he lived and died perfectly to glorify our Father. He said, he moved only by the Father's will. I don't claim to know the Father's will. I know my will. My will is to live a life that glorifies the life of Jesus, to live in his way. My dream is to reclaim this world. My dream is to reclaim this world in the name and ways of Jesus. That would mean that truth reigns supreme here on earth. No more of this wealth and authority. It can still exist. It just has far less power than what is real and true. See, and with the truth, we'll sit with love and compassion as Jesus would. It seems just simple and logic. So I'm not Jesus, but there's a little bit of Jesus in all of us. That's kind of the secret of the story, is for all of us to recognize our likeness to him. We suffer in different ways. We each have different talents. We have different paths and purposes. However, as he said, his way is the truth, the light, and the way. The way to be is with his mindset, forgiveness, mercy, even in the midst of tragedy and suffering. He's willing to forgive because he's focused on the future. He's focused on the greater picture. You can do that just like I can. And once you get a why in you for your greater future, you find yourself, why has God had me here? Why did God have me learn these things? Why did God have me do these things? Why did I choose these things? These questions, right? You get answers to those and you figure it out. And then once you have your why you exist, what your dream is, what the will of God might be for you, all these little stumbles, insignificance, right? Someone robs me, someone betrays me, someone assaults me, someone insults me. Oh, okay. I've been through it. Whatever. The goal is to create a better world. I'm not going to sit in my tears and cry in the corner anymore. I used to do that and it accomplished nothing. I used to try and drink my tears away, try and find joy from not Disney, but entertainment and distractions, Hollywood. It wasn't there. My joy is in, honestly, seeing the smiles, hearing the laughter with others. That's where I find joy. I can imagine that's God's hope as well, that God hears our laughter, our celebration, that the angels hear our laughter and our celebration as we live, right? To glorify, love, to live as though Jesus is already here, ruling the world. These debts and these, slights and past injuries, some of them are real. Some of the situations, it's going to take a community to help people forgive, to help people overcome some of the tragedy. Whoa, something is playing. Holy cows, dude. That was funny. One of my tabs just started playing. And holy cows, here is our first guest. Perfectly timed, I might add. Welcome back, Illumitami.
Play the link in the back.
Any Is there any context for the link in the back?
Play it.
Well, Tommy, it's just a link. I don't know if you clipped it. You just shared the whole live stream.
No, it'll start from the point where I grab the link. Idiot.
Are you sure? Because that's where it started. Idiot.
All right, put it right after the video we watched. Idiot, blasphemer, heresy speaker, godless antichrist faggot.
Right after the video we watched?
Yep, you can hear. Play it.
Here?
After the video is over. Are you deaf?
The incarnation that is indulged for the show.
I actually appreciate
go.
that, Tom.
There you go, play it.
Those were great words about the devotion and fasting, and not just from the food, but from the other stuff too.
Well, it didn't get to the parts I wanted you to hear, but it might not be on that video about how Christianity isn't this blissful pleasure thing that you do for these feelings based on you projecting what you think God is. It is more of like a conviction to resist sin and the sin that we do. But one good thing he pointed out in the video that you need to understand is anger itself is not a sin. Just like I've said, hey, I think people should be able to do drugs freely, and if they can do
Okay, Tommy, I love you, brother. I'm not sure what you just proved. I mean, I didn't hear anything I regret or take back. I heard you the first time as well. So Brown's boy, this last question, are you sure? Why would you stop now? I mean, come on, man. How will you being with known pedophiles like Trump and other billionaires help wars exactly? Why is Jack avoiding this question? Crew, that's what I'm wondering. What is he even talking about? You're actually welcome to click the link, Browns boy. I may have some of your characters blocked from StreamYard. I'm not sure, but you're welcome to let me know or to try, because I've explained these things. Regardless of someone's past, and I do not approve of the past, you know, and there's a lot of Donald Trump I don't agree with, but he's still a human being. And that human being sits in the position of great influence and power. This actually brings us right into one of my notes today about leadership. So how will I help Donald Trump and the other billionaires end wars exactly? I'm going to help them follow through with their words and expose the truth. Consider this. I thought about making slides. Maybe I'll talk about this later again, but this concept, what is leadership if not perspective of vision, right? It's someone who's got a vision. They've got the vision for the organization or themselves, and they have decision-making responsibility. So what is leadership if not perspective of vision and decision-making responsibility? The ability to make a choice and delegate particular efforts, particular details to others, you know, that's what a leader does. And the choice, the decision is a choice. What is leadership if not perspective of vision and decision-making responsibility? Now, I've talked about this as well before. A decision is a choice, but what is a responsibility? Now, a responsibility is a duty, right? It's something that's an obligation. It's a responsibility is an obligation, which is a duty which really is an opportunity. Okay. And every opportunity is a chance. So a what is leadership if not a perspective, a vision, and a decision making chance? If you can make a chance, do you have a chance to make choices? Do you have a chance to make decisions in your life? Yes, you are a leader of you. Now, are you worthy of being followed? Are you worthy of being trusted? Well, that's up to the choices you choose. It's really as simple as that. Self authorship is self ownership. Self ownership becomes self authorship. Once you own who you are, good and bad, then you get to choose the direction for you. Until then, circumstances make the choices. And here's another guest returning, and one I'm grateful for as well. Welcome back, Goblin. How are you today, brother? Sitting out in the sun, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm doing great. You stand on truth. I stand on truth. And that cocksucker that's down there in your stream that's sitting there telling me that I need to go get a job and all this shit, I'm here where I'm at because I am helping my family, motherfucker. And he also had my channel demonetized. So while he's taking money from me and lying about me, you motherfuckers are not standing on truth.
While you were speaking, my brother, I had to turn you down. It was coming in pretty loud, and I'm not sure the details of what that was about, to be honest. And I agree. Listen to his heart. He sounds hurt. There's something going on. There was some insults. um, there was clearly some insults, and Goblin is a good dude. I'll vouch for him in that regard. In my regard, the conversations I've had with him have been, heart to heart. He's a caring man. He and his family have a lot going on. And every one of us, we're in our own ways, we're all doing the best that we can. Doesn't mean we're doing the best we can. It means we're doing the best we think we can. Hey, thank you, Sammy. I agree. Goblin is a good dude. And he's told me that our time together has been helpful. So, and here, Olivia, I'll join with you. I hear his pain. He is loved. Life is testing us. Life is testing us all. And here we've got someone in the back. Let me not be rude. I'm not sure what I don't know. I think I'm safe, but welcome, Jafar.
Hey, it's Andy.
That's what I thought. How
Hey,
are you?
good. I'm good, Jack. I hope you're well too. I didn't come really to stick around. I just wanted to give some context to what Goblin was talking about. Um, he's referring to Snafu. Snafu has been in the chat, and he's a moderator, by the way, so the moderators cannot kick him from the chat. So it's up to you to do it, I think. But Snafu is in your chat as one of your moderators, trying to convince people to kill themselves and picking on people who are recovering alcoholics for being drunk. I know that's not the sort of thing that you condone, especially as a recovering alcoholic yourself. So maybe you could handle Snafu for everyone else.
Andy, thank you.
You're welcome. Take care, Jack.
Hey, much respect. I appreciate you. We've had our disagreements. Snafu, that was, yeah, you're crossing the line, dude. Now, you were quick to hit the link. I timed you out for a while.
Yeah,
Do you
Jack, they're
understand
lying.
why? They're not lying. You're lying to yourself. Okay? And you're not going to join and just control the narrative and put forth your narrative. Holy cows. That's fascinating. Because, see, I think the right thing to do is to deny him the audience, right? Because he's clearly attention seeking and he's using me selfishly. He's been withholding support and just nasty opinions, and that's what moves him. So, Snafu, no, dude. I took a chance and offered you a mod to try and level the playing field so you wouldn't be so timed out. But if you want to disrespect people here, with the mod, you're representing me at these streams, which is partly why I removed the mod of our poll, because he was well known to be associated with me and yet was doing what he was doing. So, Snafu, what do I do? I think the best choice for me and you, brother, you contact me off the live stream, or you set something up and I'll come and join you. We can talk. But this is not going to continue. Back to leadership. What is leadership if not perspective, and perspective of vision, right? Seeing what the goal is, knowing the plan, knowing the mission. That's all a leader is. And a leader is just a decision maker. It's a choice chooser. See, I believe people, through conditioning of obedience, memories of punishment, have convinced a lot of people to be afraid of making choices, right? Because if they make the wrong choice, oh no, someone will be hurt. And then there's other people who ignore the consequences of their choices. Snafu in the backstage right here is an example of that. He ignores the consequences of choices and just keeps choosing to repeat over and over and over. It's like a robot. It's like programming on loop, and it's crazy, man. It's lasted longer. Like, I know, people have been shocked, and it did do the job of shocking people. Thank you, Goblin. It's God who creates the situations, and it's God who creates each of the characters, and we're playing along with the characters of who we think we are. But really, there's like higher intelligence beings that are moving us. We're just a result of feelings and sensations. We're just who we are. When you really try to look inside and know who you are, that's where the journey starts, and that's where the journey ends, because where you are is the beginning and the ending, and that beginning and the ending is with God. So you are with God. Every path I go on brings me to the conclusion of God. I don't think I've brainwashed myself. I just think that's what where we are. We're within this loop of God. It's reflecting on itself, in itself, for itself, and it's all for the joy and delight of the Creator. It's once you escape the worldly views of good and bad and whatever, poor me, you escape that and you join the heavenly perspective with Jesus at the right hand, right there next to God, the giver of truth. From that perspective, it all makes sense. There's only one direction to turn. There's only one way to be. You turn to God in all ways, in all things. To know God, you look for signs. You look for the truth. And you find the meaning in what you find and what you see, but you seek the meaning while you walk with love. Love is ever present with you, and that's the way to be with God. It's a humbling path, I'll tell you. You You got to really be willing to like give yourself up and just let go of everything in order to be whole and filled with the spirit of infiniteness. It's worth it. It's worth the risk. That's the game, man. It's such a beautiful design. Our God is so glorious. Everything, life, the perfection of the order of life that generates you, animates you and me into being alive today. It's got the sun in the sky and all the frequencies of light and the energies, the magnetic frequencies of the polars here on Earth. I mean, we're just part of one living life experiment, perhaps, but we're all united with time, this fractional moment here and now, this breath of time. We share it. And there will be a time where we don't. But for this time that we share time here on earth together, let's see if we can work together, right? Work together with God for yourself. Know that God, the path to God is through the facts. You look at the facts, you discover the truth of who you are. The truth of who you are is a memory of the future that God has brought here to be realized into becoming, to becoming all that you are and all that you can become. It's a paradox, but it's the truth. You are the universe and all time, at all times that you are you. It's at least on some levels, okay? You're not, obviously not the entirety of the universe, and the entirety of the universe is not encapsulated within your beingness. Obviously not. But at some level, at some level, our God is so glorious. This life is so mysterious. Anything you consider, you've got to realize it's been through the consciousness, through the mind of man, human beings. All that we know of, it didn't just come from us, ourselves. We learn a lot through each other and from each other. All that we know of is from life through God. And it's also through the limits of mind of man, through the interpretations of language and the consciousness of that which tunes in. We're all just frequency generators and converters. Snafu, man. Tell you what, Snafu, you're typing up, busy on the keyboard in the back. You clearly still want to talk. I tell you what, let's keep it calm. We don't need to be insulting. We keep it calm and we can communicate. Please, I'm willing to give it a shot. Is that fair, Snafu?
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. You actually timed me out before I had a chance to talk. So you're an ex-alcoholic that had overcome alcoholism. And I don't care if my words hurt people. We've offered Goblin rehab help and stuff, but I said he's an alcoholic who is shown everyone his alcoholism. And as far as Austin Murphy goes, that was a lie, because Austin Murphy went on a YouTube channel the other day. He had a gun in his hand. He was trying to act like he was going to do himself in, but he was drunk too. Okay. And honestly, because someone who did eat a handful of pills, I take great offense to people who like Rat Blood or Austin who do that shit. Okay. So they're absolutely lying. I'm here pointing out facts, truth, and especially you being an ex-alcoholic, I would think you'd want to be more honest and authentic with Goblin, because you have seen his alcoholism as well as all of us. So that's all I'm saying, Jack. They're butthurt because I'm putting Truthio out with words. I'm not talking shit in your chat. I'm not fucking timing out people. I literally am telling them the truths that hurt. Okay. And that's all I'm saying, dude. So you could believe these scumbags if you want, but the truth is Austin Murphy had that gun, acting like he was going to do something, which was a cry for whatever. He's a drunk. And then Goblin, he's an absolute alcoholic. Like, and you should be more wanting to help him with his issues because of your issues with alcoholism. So they could cry because I'm putting Truthio out there, but I'm not doing what they claimed.
All right. Hey, can I divert to this?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jack. I just because again, I appreciate you listening to me because that it pisses me off when
I know.
speech and words, because I really wasn't like, I mean, he is an alcoholic. We've all witnessed it. Austin pulling that gun out the other day on a stream. You know, that was like, these guys do this shit publicly. All right, go ahead. But they're scumbags getting pissed off because they're getting exposed. But go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
We don't need to keep returning.
No,
to
go
it.
ahead. Go ahead. I just wanted to put
Thank
my
you.
shit out there. Go ahead.
And I appreciate it. Maybe I did time you out too soon, but
It's okay, Jack. You could go review it, dude. Go review it. And truth,
we're
Go
learning. We're
let's
learning.
move forward.
Together,
Let's move forward.
right?
Here's because
This-
these guys
yes.
get butt hurt because of optics that really sting them. The reason, because those are real serious. And you being an alcoholic, you know what that is.
I know.
You know,
let's
yeah.
let's
Go ahead.
please. This,
go ahead,
this
Jack.
comment from Brown's boy. Snafu, you pay attention to the bigger picture and look at this comment. Jack's goal is to meet known pedo billionaires to end wars? Question mark. How would you end wars without involving these known pedo billionaires? You got to. You got to involve them.
Well, I mean, like, that's the thing. When we say end wars, are we talking about massive wars, or are we talking about like micro wars, like we talked about within certain? So you're talking about like the big wars, like Israel, blah, blah, all that shit. Okay. I mean, war makes money, Jack, and I get that. In order for policies or anything to go through, obviously you have to work with elites in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly. And some of them are known. There's plenty of evidence. Some of them are sick, twisted people.
P. Diddy got sentenced today.
No, I didn't hear. What
50 months. 50 months. So that's it, bro. Everyone's like in an outrage today. I mean, drug dealers, people like that get worse sentences than that. And yeah, and he's probably already time served in a sense. So he'll probably do about 2.5, maybe on probation in a year. But yeah, he got sentenced this morning. And then because Trump and the cartels, like you saw what they're saying about the cartels right now, the war on cartels. Now that's another thing. I didn't know if you knew that. Yeah, Trump just came out and said, we are at war with cartels, because they're blowing up all these.
Venezuela. Yeah, South America. Yeah. It's bullshit. It's propaganda. This is insanity. And it's up to us, guys. It is time. I was trying to explain this recently somewhere. I feel it's time to change the script, right? Let's accept the facts. The people playing politics, they're playing puppets. They're dancing like puppets. It's all being controlled by people behind the scenes. The lobbyists are just the messengers for the controllers, and they bring the purse strings. And we've got a world that's been controlled by money. That's what Donald Trump is doing. He's defunding this and defunding that, laying people off, shutting things down. Why? For paychecks. People have given, as long as people collectively and individually continue to give money so much power, they'll continue to be controlled. They'll continue to sell their time, their morals, and their freedom away.
What is your thoughts on the government shutdown?
it's part of the theatrics. It's real life on those employees who depend on their paycheck and are living paycheck to paycheck, right? It's real life for them. For Donald Trump and the others, it's just a part of the show. It's an exercise of force demonstrating his power, just like that theatrical show with the generals they just had. This is
Yes,
just
yes. That was beyond crazy. That whole like propaganda, but it was beating of the drums, bro. Like that's what I saw of it. Beating of the drums. And yes, it's called Agenda 2030. I mean, these are written in report, these are things that are documented, of what their goals are, the legal secret shit that you talk about.
let me Olivia Blue. To some
I
degree, I
agree with
get this. It
I
just
agree with
astonished.
Olivia right there.
Yeah, let me read her comment for those just maybe listening. It just astonishes me that so many people think that politicians can help anyone or anything. I wish my people had fought harder not to be overcome. Now, politicians, these are people, and they're people in positions. Now, the positions by the system, the positions of the politicians by design of the system, they have the authority. The agreed consensus is they have this amount of authority. They can do these things within these rules and these guidelines. Now, I want to talk to the men and women that are serving in the role, they're in the position of politician. That includes Donald Trump, those he appointed, and those who have been elected by the bodies. I want to talk to all of them about reform, right? Turning towards authenticity, honor, integrity, leading, right? Accepting ownership for their position as leaders. They have the opportunity to obey the lobbyists. They have the opportunity to obey the past and obey the bankers, or they can become righteous men and women, leading in the example of Jesus, right? Following what is true, leading with compassion and mercy and purpose. I want to speak to Donald Trump because I know he can help me speak to Congress. So I'd like to speak with Congress to help me speak with Donald Trump. Either way will work for me. I want to speak to them all.
Jack, can I ask you a question? And this is just like a hypothesis for you, because a lot of us think this. What if, like we said, that because of the money and the power, and again, I've tried telling you that some of these wars bring economic value to
I know
countries
they
that
do.
would never ever receive,
I know.
medical help,
We can change that.
food.
Snap. Sorry to interrupt, but you're
Well,
right.
can I finish my question?
We can
So,
change.
what if I were to say that these agendas, which have already been shown, New World Order, and even biblically, one world, one government. So, like, do you think that these politicians, these puppets, these entities of sorts, they're obviously on one agenda, they're putting it out, doing it. So, versus the politicians and stuff, what about we, the people? The root, because I work with Rob, one of my buddies. He's the ex-district attorney for Florida, Colorado stuff, and he works in justice reform. I've had him in the channel before. We did the interview and
Right.
again, he does things like what you talk about, but again, he knows he's against the machine. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
he has the same morals, ideals as you, like wanting to help, wanting to reform, but because of the machine, which is these politicians and other people, the judge, the courts, and it's not even the United States, it's worldwide. So, like, that's my question: is
Right.
do you think that that machine is too powerful for you to just sit
No.
down with Trump and him to
No.
say, okay, let's just change things
No.
around? Because so you really do believe they would take the loss in money, take the loss in
Hear me out.
power? Go
Let
ahead.
me. Yes, I don't believe, while it could be a challenge and there's a lot of details that would have to be worked out along the way, I don't believe the system is unchangeable. I know this can happen. And this is what I sense, Olivia Blue. We all want reform. And this is why I feel if I can get an opportunity to speak on behalf of workers and citizens, not just in America, but all around the world, I want to speak to those directing the beast here on earth, which is the U.S. corporation known as the American government. We have the opportunity with the right leadership, we have the opportunity for America to lead the whole world into peace and reforms. Now, I don't see the right leadership there yet. Now, my neighbors and other people, they saw some sort of quality in Donald Trump that I haven't given up on him yet, but I sure don't like what I'm seeing in him. He does not represent me.
Did you see the newest, like one of his proudest moments? Did you see what Trump talked about recently?
Which one?
Let me put some in the backstage. It's going to shock you. It's going to shock you.
Let me get to this point though too. I got on my soapbox. You're right, Olivia. Individually, they're not allowed to disobey their slave masters. They're not allowed to disobey their commitments, their contracts, their oaths. And they have these interpretations on those things, okay? But the reality is, what God has shown me, we live in an illusion. And these people think the division between left and right, politics or Republican and liberal, whatever, they think that shit is more important than educating and providing health care and, actually bringing reform. I want to help them realize they've kind of slipped a little bit of dereliction in duty. And I am actually suggesting we bring some accountability into our government. So here, real quick, one person can't do it, but I've always envisioned a group of us do it.
So if I may, I put the link backstage. Now, this is your boy Trump, okay? Now think of the billions and billions of dollars with what he's saying here, and also population control and so much more. So that's what I'm saying is some of these people are so sold out that it's hard for me to think that they're not going to give up. Like, that's what I think people are trying to tell you is some of these politicians are set in stone with the propaganda and the optics and playing the systematic setup of the beast system.
I'm sorry. I've got to interrupt you. I've got that clip ready, but we have a true guest in the back, and I do not want to keep this waiting. Welcome. Is this the real? Is this Jesse?
Absolutely, Mr. Talcott. How are you doing?
I'm truly humbled and feeling absolutely blessed with this moment. Thank you. What brings you, brother?
Well, Jack, I just wanted to remind you that I'm down on Mexico half the year. There's no tax down there.
There probably isn't, is there? But if you don't agree to it, is there tax anywhere?
Well, you have a point, Mr. Talcott. That obese character over there that I go see from time to time, the Paul and Slave guy. He talks about this, a lot of this stuff. As ex-governor, I got access to all the files they don't want you to see. It's in my new book. Should check it out.
I look forward to it, but holy cows. Those files, yes, there's those files and more files that have had me inspired. And that young man over on Proper Instruction Motivates People, he does talk about those sorts of things. Yes, that is that right? It is, isn't it? Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yep. Former governor as well, Mr. Talcott. Let's not forget that.
Amen. Let me not forget the dedication to public service. Truly.
I was in combat. right, let me abandon the bit. I'll abandon the bit. I just came over because, oh man, Jesse makes me sneeze when I do the Jesse. It brings
I
it
can
out of me.
imagine.
It's like a seance.
I know.
Oh man. Oh, get those demons out.
Yeah. God bless.
Yeah, so I just came over to, bullshit a little bit. Oh man, I'm cooking with what do you call it? Red pepper. That's what that is. Yeah, that's opening me up. But we may do an interview. Snafu asked me for an interview, so we may do that at some point. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in, bullshit a little bit, throw some good energy, some good magic, Jack. Like Frank taught me to do the good magic.
So without, because you have an easier way to talk to Jack without him getting eyebrows furrowed and those caterpillars.
I'm just realizing that when I do Frank, it's like one step away from Jesse. If I just go a little deeper.
Maybe Paul could explain to you in a different way about just like I said, the video I put in your backstage, the billions of dollars, the agendas in play, the things that are happening. How can these politicians literally say, we're going to give all this money and power up for you? Like the idea, I get what you're saying, Jack, but it's just these people are fucking part of the B system. And it's like, even if you got with Trump, this is what he's about. Money.
I know.
Well, I'm so wacky that I honestly believe that if I just keep moving forward and do this community thing, that we're going to make a little noise in our area of the nation, and we're going to put them on notice. And things are already changing. Things are already happening. I really do believe that, and you have to believe in that. You got to be a little bit crazy and have lofty goals in order to like shoot for the moon. As they say, land among the stars. So
that's
you got to believe, man.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. Wouldn't Jack be better off working with people like you or others in the, like I talked about?
This is a concept that's foreign to you and Tommy, Jack, or Snafu. This is a concept that's foreign to you and Tommy, but Jack would have to decide what Jack's better off doing for Jack in his life, right? See how that works?
No, but I'm just trying to say that the Biden and Trumps are not going to get him anywhere versus other people that could type movements, right?
I don't know. I don't have the Palantir crystal ball, right? I'm not Peter Thiel, so I have no idea what could happen. Again, I don't even have to agree or disagree to go, hey, we have other stuff we can do on the ground, and right, we could do this and that, right?
Yes, so yeah. Absolutely.
And I do believe like the grassroots optics, like the driver's license stuff, what we saw with Denver and Colorado. We're witnessing the medical marijuana and, big pharmacy. I do believe that these changes can happen, Jack. I just don't know if the people you're looking for the help are the ones that would be the helpers in your mission.
That's just it. I want to convince people to do what they probably don't want to do. Just like I was forced to
face. Would you be coached by a death coach?
Which includes sometimes getting coached by a death coach. I'd like to help Donald Trump, find the
We can ease his transition from this life to the next.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You might want to edit that out.
Here, I've got to see what. I got to see what he said now.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is not my daddy.
Here, just a couple of minutes. Let's see what he's saying.
Panel on vaccine changed its broad recommendations on COVID-19 vaccines today. Are you comfortable with that change, or would you like to see Americans take the vaccines that were developed under your tenure?
Yeah. Well, the vaccines, according to a lot of people, and if you look at charts, have had a tremendous, Operation Warp Speed. It was just according to just about everybody, was one of the greatest things that any president has ever done in this country. So we're very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. I'm also
very proud of those billions.
Regeneron and some of the things that came out of, all of the labs and all of the research.
Regeneron.
So I don't know exactly what the final determination is, but I had the vaccine. I was very happy with it. Here I am. Right?
Have you had it again?
Bobby Kennedy seems to be undoing what you did with Operation Warp Speed.
I put him in there because I want to have opposite views. That's okay. I think we're going to have something very, very big coming up soon on autism. Autism is totally out of control. And one of the biggest one of the most important things that, in my opinion, I had to do is to see what's going on with autism. And we're going to have a news conference early next week on autism. And I think you're going to see some things that are amazing that we've learned that somebody else wouldn't have learned. It's out of control, autism, out of control. And I think we maybe have the reason why.
But is Bobby Kennedy going too far and unwinding the vaccines?
He's saying for older people. Yeah, he's saying for older people. A lot of people agree with that. And but I can tell you this: Operation Warp Speed, one of the greatest things a president has ever done for this country. And you can say the world, because when we came up with that vaccine, the whole world opened up. But I put Bobby there as somebody that will go either way. And I want the facts, but I also look at facts from Pfizer, where they spent a lot of money, and the other drug companies, they spent a lot of money on finding out the results after the fact, and the results were amazingly good.
Amazingly good. Paid for by the producer. The results were amazingly good, and the commander-in-chief, like he said, Warp Speed was the world's greatest success. Praise God for Donald Trump.
If the world is a business and also a prison and also a slaughterhouse, he's not wrong, right? It's really just about perspective,
Well, see, that's just it. He's right on many levels. And this is what's so frustrating, because he's within every lie, there is the truth. And that guy is a professional liar. And that's what America promoted by choice. He's a freaking reality TV star, just like the Ukrainian clown. What the hell? This can't get, dude, serious. Producers in Hollywood couldn't have fucking figured this out. They couldn't have imagined it. What's real? Crazy practical joke. That's what it is, actually. The entire, holy shit, Paul, makes perfect sense from the spiritual perspective. The entire game of government and economics, right? Playing war, playing authority and boss. It's the devil's game. It's a practical joke. It's there for those who want to play along and feel some sort of self-importance, stroke their egos, massage their sins.
Yeah, it's one big deception. This is why, again, I contend, whether I like it or want to do it or not, and I've more and more got used to it as I speak it into existence. I'm like mind controlling myself and going, need to live on the land, need to grow food, need to sue the chemtrail people. Like, it all starts locally to get global, right? Because, again, we couldn't go to Donnie and these people to not take the vax. I don't know if you want me talking that here or not, but it's whatever at this point, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, it all comes back to just cause and effect and the next right thing. And oftentimes the next right thing is what we're not doing or engaging in, Yeah. So we've chose to not be part of the grand blasphemous sacrifice of being vaxxed out, right? So I think we got to take that attitude to everything in life, right? This is just a wake-up call. Our food, our water, our air, the taxation on the land, just to use it. We got a whole bunch of shit that we need to address in order to free ourselves and each other. The more we start doing that, the more they're going to take notice of us. And either they're going to change business as usual, or we're going to be, quote unquote, the messiahs of our day, right? Where they're going to come for us and do whatever to us. They may do that anyway. As a matter of fact, they already are doing that in their own way. So I think this whole realm is really just pushing us past all of our fears into faith, to serve the truth and God and do the next right thing, right? The devil is doing good through its evil. It's just most are not seeing that.
It's hard to see. It's hard to see unless you can find a devilish mind. That's where you and I align, Paul.
I told you, Jack, I'm here for it, man. At the end of the day, I don't get to choose who is put into my sphere of influence, so to speak, right? Or amongst my experience. So I'm open for anybody, if they, again, as much as you may not like this, I don't know where you stand on this, but if they got some coin or they're willing to work
with some kind of equity and value to co-create, I just believe the time is now more than ever, right? And I'm not alone. This is not a new thought, right? Back to the land movement has probably been going for 30 to 50 years at this point. But we can see why, right? You know, so I just think that there's so much there, right? You walk outside, you're with the trees, you know, you're with nature and the weather. It's just win, 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 you know, all the way around. So I'm open to whoever and whatever comes forth who wants to be part of what I'm doing, but I can't waver from that vision because I feel like I'll regret it, you know?
It's a yes and for me, sincerely. I kind of gave up. I didn't give up. I think I put on the back burner my goal of a home, right? A homestead and a place. Hearing others, I've met people, Jake something or other online. You probably come across him. He's all on his, he rewrote a new constitution. And if everyone would just agree to his constitution, well, everything would be better.
How could that go wrong, right? We haven't seen that before.
Right. And then I was reminded when you were talking about, you know, going to homesteading and more natural. I was reminded about our friend Aaron Gauchi. His dad, his father was known for some sort of natural agricultural processes. And so I've been blessed to discover what permaculture, the ideas of permaculture and sustainable agriculture practices. I discovered a lot of those things, and I honor all the people who are on that path. I want to help promote what they're doing, but myself, this path, I've been considering it. I can't see anything else for me to do other than try to involve myself into the political theater that's happening in some way.
Yeah,
So
again, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that I believe the path is going to be doing stuff little by little on the ground and then getting the attention of these people, if nothing else, for them to present you as a threat, right? Because they two choices. They get to go, man, you're like tax free. You got like, you know, tax exemption. You're teaching that and showing that. Because I got people around me who we've already done that. I know what exists now. I know it can be done. Right. So, oh, you're growing healthy food that's not sprayed down. You know, you're not slaving the animals. You got like this thing going. And then they get a choice. Do they embrace this as a new way of living and promote it for everyone else? Or do they ignore it? I guess there's a third option, act like it doesn't exist. Or, you know, make an enemy out of you. Because how dare you grow clean food and have clean air and water and be tax free, right? And live close to God on the land.
What I think that ignoring that ignorance is exactly what I want to overcome in the representation in DC, because I want to help them realize what they are part of, what they are participating in their theatrics of arguing against the different parties while the taxation is still continuing. And the signs are here, right? Paul, yesterday on your stream, you were reviewing some of the stuff happening in the UK. Police are invading, taking people from their homes because of speech in support of oppression, right? Or in defense of the oppressed. People speaking up about Palestine in the UK are being arrested. The America, whatever, if we're going to protect freedom of speech in this world in any fashion, it's time for action. It's time for America to take its place righteously as a leader in this world, to lead the world into peace and reforms. Donald Trump claims he wants peace and he's failing. So I want to help him achieve what he said he was going to do.
Well, this is where I believe the nuance comes in as well. Like you see how, I don't want to call it teaching, but how I'm showing and experiencing and showing through my experience this idea of, like the guy just said, he's repeating the same mistakes of the past. We don't need another covert or overt contract where you get pulled into a jurisdiction where you're subject to policy and code. right? As the Christ had being said, we need to come out of her, my people. If you folks were on record as proper Americans of the nation rather than citizens of the corporation, they couldn't legally or lawfully tell you what to do and not do. That's the next stage of this, is everyone's going to have to look within and look at themselves and how they've kept records and how they've literally thrown themselves to the wolves legally and technically, right? It doesn't make an excuse for it. It shouldn't be that way. And even under their codes, just because you're a citizen doesn't mean they can slave you, but it gives them the legal grounding, like the, you know, the spiders and the snakes, to start encircling you because of what we're claiming on these paperworks, right? These forms of contracts.
It conflicts with what those involved in the system. It conflicts with their beliefs. But this is where we've got to overcome these beliefs. We have the answers here on Earth. We've got the logistics. We've got the communication all around the world. I know it sounds like the New World Order agenda, but why Christians don't get it? You know, if Jesus returns here on Earth, it will be one world. The borders won't be such a thing. The governments will be redefined. We can redefine what wealth and authority mean. I did for myself. They don't mean shit to me anymore.
Well, I think we're just aligning with or updating what God is already moving and redefining, right? So many corporatists think that because they have false money backed by nothing, coupons for value that are paper, and some kind of group of people who will move on their orders, that they have true value and power, right? And the whole landscape is shifting under everyone's feet to remind us of what's always been and what always will be. This was just a game everyone was playing in the meantime. Now it's back to reality, right?
Yes, Paul. And here's something I realized. You don't really know what's going on until you can explain it. You have been given a gift. Me too, right? We can explain some of the things that many people they're not noticing. You can explain the bigger picture. And this is why I have hope. If we can get these explanations into the men and women of Congress, helping them, putting on the record what they are a part of, the criminal activity that has been stealing and oppressing, stealing wisdom and oppressing the humanity of the people, then they have no ability to claim plausible deniability, right? This game of I don't know, I didn't know. Bullshit. Let's put them on notice. It's time to end the wars. The political wars and the international wars and the banking wars and the drug wars and all of these wars can go away through proper education and diplomatic negotiations. Right?
And civil disobedience, most importantly. That's the main platform here is the child in me who was lorded over by corrupt and tyrannical parents and false authorities has always stuck to the core of my spirit is just stop complying. You know, just respectfully go, you know what? I got my own free will. I'm going to do what I want. Thanks for your advisements to how to keep us all safe, but I'm good. Right? I really do believe in that. I think they're already getting put on notice. You know, I got 3 to 5 more people this week who've decided that they're not going to comply with policy and code anymore, whether it's traveling on a plane, you know, and the real ID or whatever else, whether it's licenses and registration to use their property and all the rest of it. So they're already getting notice from the bottom, quote unquote, to the top of the bottom. You know, on their high horses and their thrones. They're already getting noticed. That's why they're frantic at this point, because they go, holy crap, a few 100,000 people are finally waking up and saying no more. They're not going to comply, and the box isn't scaring them anymore. Right? Their power is going away.
Mm-hmm. It is, and it'll take the collective majority. Well, it won't take the majority. It'll take an empowered and intentional minority. We can redirect and change the entire world, because much of the world is asleep at the wheel. They're just obedient to their memories and reactive to the temporary circumstances. But I'm confident what you're saying, Paul, that willful willful defiance, the choice to non-comply, the choice to disobey. Why? Because I'm maintaining my freedom. I'm maintaining my rights, my principles. There's a time for that for sure. The other part, though, is using the tactics of what they do, manipulate the law into winning. And I think there's a place for that too. People are doing that individually in the courts, but I think collectively we can do the same thing. I mean, there's the authority of the Constitutional Committee. You know, one of the guys that swung through here was big on promoting that. It still requires some sort of cooperation with people. But there's all sorts of tools and mechanisms. And Paul, I am excited, truly excited for what the future's going to bring, because I'm all in. I'm all into life these days. And it feels
Yeah, and
pretty
let's be
good.
clear. I'm totally into cooperation. I'm just not going to go along with coercion, right? Which is what it's been for the longest time, right? Cooperation's great through understanding and acceptance and good faith and honorability. Anything less than that is coercion, right? I won't be part of it as much as I can muster, right? It's a practice.
Paul, you're absolutely right. It's been under coercion and threat. And this violates the principles of leadership. And leadership is what I think the world is lacking. It's proper leadership. There's holes in it, and that's why everything's out of balance. But true leadership is inviting, and that's what I've been learning. I can do better of, rather than forcing things, is inviting. Hey, lawyer chick, blessings, and thank you for the contributions. Preach, brother Jack. Keep helping us evolve as humans together. You're very much appreciated, as are you. We are this time that is growing. Jeeps, these men and women in position, they're in paid positions, so they're actually employees in Congress, in the House and the Senate, as legislators. They are representatives of their districts, of their states. And as representatives, that is a leader. They're leading in the direction, representing, and in theory, they're leading in the direction of the will of the body. But we know that's not real. So let's bring some reality checks into the game. As a matter of fact,
Jack, this is where I think that you miss. I'm not like trying to, get on you, but I think you're missing the point here that you're giving too much credit to everyone else. They're not representing us, the ones who can see and understand some level of virtue and freedom. They are representing the TV watchers who literally will argue and fight with us. We need taxes for the roads, as they give it all to Ukraine and Israel, right? We need to support State of Israel and their genocide because politics, right? They literally are representatives of those people, because when you meet those people, they're parroting everything they're saying and vice versa and paying for it. Right. So there is that wheat and tear. There is that dual jurisdiction. There is that free and enslaved, or on the way to being free versus hopelessly enslaved.
Okay. You're absolutely right. So how about if I approach it a different way, which is kind of what I'm thinking I'm doing. Because of my past, my oaths, my enlistments, my titles, disabled vet and the postal guy and all this stuff, I feel that I have some sort of entitlement to proper representation. And I feel that they're doing an inadequate job. So, as a man who's like them, took oaths of service to the government, I'd like to have conversations with them about what is expected by other people like me who give a shit about the job that they're doing and consider it unacceptable.
I think that may be the spiritual deception, right? Like the scripture outlines, we're to take no oaths, right? So by taking these oaths, we think we're doing a good thing or being a part of public service. It turns out 20 years, 30 years later, oops, that wasn't spiritually what these people were up to, right? So I think that there's a misunderstanding or misappropriation based on the understanding and experience we've gained after interacting with these folks and understanding what they're really about, right? It's one big deception they're having played on them and one big con game, because we can never really represent a whole group of people, right? Each one of us can represent God and the truth, represent that in human form, experience that, exemplify that. But can any public servant really speak for or truly lead by encouraging the populace to lead themselves? No. We have a bunch of corrupt folks who are misleading and a bunch of followers who don't really want to know, right? That's why I'm just saying I would encourage you to kind of separate yourself, not from the service position, but from how it's all perceived and understood and acted upon, right? Because I don't think they're one and the same. You really may have good intentions and thought you were joining to be a part of public service. That's probably why they threw you out. Because they go, what the hell's wrong with this crazy guy? He doesn't realize what we're all doing here? You know, stranger things have happened, man.
Well, I was looking at my past and trying to find the patterns. What did I learn? What was it for? And I've learned the value of organizational experience, right? I've had the experience in organization. I've seen how effective organized labor and organized efforts can actually be, not just in the deployment with the military, you know, how quickly things can get set up and changed and whatever, but also in the military or in the postal service. So, you know, seeing the structures of that organization, a nationwide organization that's quasi-government. So it was ideal for a look into private and public, or private and government, to see the difference. And then my education with the union helped me understand a lot more of American history. Labor history is American history, and they don't teach a lot of labor history in school. So I figured there's a reason why I had a path that was just outside of politics. I could have been a great politician. I could have been a great attorney. I could have been a great all sorts of things. But I'm confident my past experience, it's created me for this. I've got this idea in my heart, right? Where Netanyahu has spoken in front of the body of representatives. I want to speak there. I want to talk to the men and women of Congress and have their attention for 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And we talk about what is righteous and what is American and what is equality and what is freedom and what is peace. And most of all, accountability. I know there's a way to accomplish this. I just don't know the path yet. It's going to happen though, man. It is going to happen because my will is, I feel as though I'm on the path that this can happen. I see many ways in my mind that this can be achieved. And if it's achieved, well, all the facts are there. And once the facts are revealed in front of Congress publicly, they're placed on notice that, hey, we're not bullshitting around. We're telling you, we know peace can be found, right? Wars can end. Reforms can begin. All it takes is the idea, the willingness, the choice, and the agreement. Now, if I could get Snafu and Tommy.
And there you go. It's amazing. Even you laugh. Like this is what throws me about you. This is what makes Brown's boy think that you're an agent of someone or something. Is you went from making change with yourself and on the ground and with the country and the world to, if I can get some of the most dysfunctional, hateful, just abusive you know, folks who never have anything positive or even just co-creative to add to the discussion or the interaction, then what? Exactly. What is proven by that? Because all I say is what's being proven is you and others wasting countless amounts of your time and energy and attention trying to fix people who obviously don't want to fix themselves in their life, right? So at what point do you kind of check your guilty conscience or your need to be a life coach and just move on to bigger and better things? Whatever God has meant for you.
I know. Paul, I've got a sickness. I've got a problem. I
get it.
recognize
I get it. I'm talking to me again on some level, but you see how at least over the course of 3 to 5 years, I've moved the focus like 1 to 3%, you know, like little movements toward, okay, I'm going to set this down and I'm going to walk away and I'm going to focus on this over here because I'm wasting my platform, my time, energy, attention, and the audience's time interacting with folks who are going nowhere in life while projecting onto others, right? And that's not that we like that or want that to be that. That's their choice.
Right.
So can we really be there for that? Can they really be there for us and what we're doing? I contend no, not at this time.
That's the key. It took me a while to realize. Not at this time.
And I won't even lump snafu completely into that because we're all redeemable. We all have personality disorder to an extent or have had it in our life because of whatever. We could go to that. Snafu has made some changes, at least regarding me and others around here. Has he completely changed with everyone else? I can't speak on that. The word around town is no. But I have to go on my firsthand experience and, you know, from beginning to where we're at now. So I've seen some changes in him. I've seen some revelations and recognitions with him and some attempts to practice a different sort of lifestyle and countenance, right? For himself first, because I talk to him regularly and I tell him the same thing I tell myself. Hey, bro, this shit is sick. It's dysfunctional. It's not good for you. You're going to wind up sicker. And do you really want to give your life arguing and fighting over this nonsense when you have so much opportunity and potentially talent and ability in this world and in yourself? Again, I contend no. That would be a blaspheming to God. God gives you opportunity, a platform, talents and abilities, and you waste it on arguing and fighting with people who obviously have an agenda to only attack and tear down and never to create or build.
I know. And you know what, Paul? I actually like you. You and I know a couple of others. We haven't given up on Mr. Snafu yet. He's redeemable. All are redeemable. We've got another provocateur.
Provocateur. There you go.
That's the word. Provocateur. Thank you, Paul. Welcome.
You only call me that when Paul's around. What the hell is that? That's some bullshit. I've never heard you say that before. Oh, now I'm a provocateur.
Your arrival is suspicious to me, but welcome, Truth. How are you?
Good to see you too, Jack. Jesus.
What's up, Douglas?
What's up, Paul? How's it going? I'm glad.
We're on full cupcake mode today, as it would be described. As if I care what anybody in the chat's going to describe me or what I'm doing as today, right?
It happens. Appearances are not always as they seem, and things happen. You know, we Paul and I, it's historical. We've had these strides where it's just fucking belly laughing fun. And then there's times where I'm pulling my hair out, cursing that I crossed paths with a young man. But this comment, Paul, I have this conversation regularly with Jack. It seems the dedication of miracles encompasses the panelverse fuckery. So I realized about myself, Paul, with perhaps with you, perhaps, but definitely with Illumitami was where I spotted it. There's something about him I enjoy, and I'm bound and determined to win his friendship. So what does that say about me? I'm fucking needy.
We can do it, Jack, but only if we have Paul on our team. Paul, will you join us in this conquest?
Yeah, again, we traditionally at times have boundary issues, setting them and maintaining them or crossing them when not necessary, right? It's a coming and going issue here.
It is. And I think all three of us, you too, Truth or Cop, maybe you too, we all kind of push boundaries. We press into people and, you know, kind of antagonize and jab a little bit. Tommy does the same thing. But what I recognized about me is I'm seeking love from difficult people. Why? I've got so many other people who actually love and care about me, but I give my attention to Snafu, to Tommy, to whatever. It's like,
it could be argued you believe you're seeking love, but it's something else, right? You're seeking some kind of validation that if you help these people, the toughest cases out of all, you will be redeemed as a life coach. You know, there's a subconscious aspect of that there. I've said that for a while, right? And I'm gambling with you and risking by even speaking on this stuff, because in the past I know it wasn't well received, but we're here today, right?
we are.
So it's about what you decide that it is for you, separate from the truth, right? Because we can't make anybody else see things the way we're seeing it, nor should we try to, really. It just upsets them and frustrates us, right?
Yeah, and we're gonna like naturally align with the people that we're seeing the same way as. So at a certain point,
I think the best reorientation is seeking love with self and God.
Yes.
And stop pouring that into or giving that away to others who really aren't worthy and don't deserve that based on what they're serving. The word is deserve, of serve. So it all becomes clear at that point.
It does. However, I want to press into the idea of worthiness, because that is truly found. While there are facts, and facts can certainly determine worth, the worth is still found in the eye of the beholder, based upon the field of view and what's being measured. And we've got here, since he was being named and spoken of, welcome Illumitami. Please be calm. Please.
Is this the real Illumitami?
It is.
I'm calm because I'm gonna destroy the two of you the simplest way I always do. Tell me how I need your help. Tell me how I'm this dysfunctional, corrupted life person. You got 3 minutes.
All right, can I go first? I didn't say any of that. I didn't say any of that. I didn't name you. I'm past all that. I've just decided I won't interact with you or engage with you beyond a certain point for my own presentment and health and functionality, right? So it's me being selfish in order to...
There is no one in the chat that just watched you, like Jack's referring to me and Snafu, and then you said that thing.
Tommy, you did say you give them 3 minutes. You did say 3 minutes. You did say 3 minutes.
My
You said 3
experiences
minutes.
with you and the experience of watching you here in other places. I'm entitled to my opinion. If you don't agree, then we can agree to disagree.
For two people to speak, it's going to take, Paul's going to speak for 2.5 minutes, and then Jack will get like 30 seconds.
Nobody cares, Truth or
At the
Cop.
end,
You're just a third wheel. See? Fucking
Tom, you already showed you're the thing that's so silly about this. You claim to be so bright and intelligent and a chess master like Donnie.
Yeah,
you already showed your intention by coming in and declaring
your boss on the construction.
You already showed your intention by coming in and declaring you're only here to destroy. That's exactly what I just intended.
I said
you're not here to co-create. You're not here to build. You're here to destroy. And what is that? What is that?
You're grabbing one
statement. Over me regularly, so I'm going to disengage. You've talked over me 4 times now.
Yeah. This is the thing about the ego I've witnessed, and Tommy was just demonstrating it, and Truther Cop was just demonstrating it. Truther Cop, by the insistence on interjecting, I get what you were doing, but it wasn't actually helpful to talk over him. And what I witnessed with Tommy is inviting a conversation, but the moment the conversation started, the habit of being defensive jumped in. So Tommy, if you're going to allow a conversation,
Hey Jack, if you want to mediate, how about we break it down to brass tacks? That faggot hasn't answered my question.
So what? Calm down.
Well, that's the point, nigger, to answer the fucking question.
No, the point is calm down.
You consistently describe everyone, including Jack, myself, Snafu, everybody in this fucking community. You consistently say we're all nobody broken losers and you're the man. And yet you...
And look at what you're showing. You're showing a broken loser, Tommy, and you're better than this.
He's even revealing that he's so dysfunctional and distorted and delusional, he thinks meeting online to yell and scream and destroy people with words is quote-unquote community. He wonders why I want nothing to do with them. You guys have never met my community because they don't exist online perpetually screaming and yelling at each other, and you never will. Okay? So get it straight. Dual jurisdiction again. I got 5 people with children I'm living with on the ground, a senior citizen, a veteran, bunch of folks who are involved in my day-to-day life. I love them. They love me. We respect each other. We work on shared goals and tasks. Okay? They're not online yelling and screaming behind a dumpster.
No.
So whenever you're ready to get into reality, get in the now, get out of your imagination. Peace is available if you can check your delusion. Okay? And I have a feeling you're going to have a hard time doing that.
For the time being, he's built in this habit of fight. He's flipping me off in the backstage. I love Tommy, but it's just hilarious. And then Snafu is back too. Paul, you cannot, seriously, Hollywood writers could not have imagined these characters and their backstories and then the way they perform each day. What the hell, dude?
Hollywood writers wouldn't want to imagine these characters because beyond their dysfunction of yelling and screaming, there's little to no value there in telling any kind of story to any extent. So, unfortunately, right? I didn't choose that. They did.
No, and you're right. And Trexty's right. It's fucking wild giving this airtime. The dude's being unhinged. He clearly needs a nap and a hug. Tommy,
Yeah, you're enabling him. Folks on here, and I did it for a while, right? Until I told him and others, go away and don't come back. I'm not enabling, giving platform for this to intend to come to destroy. I literally said, you're projecting onto everyone the spirit of Satan and Leviathan, and you come in, your first words are, I'm here to destroy. And you're going to do it through deceptions, power games, and lies and half-truths. It's just fascinating, right? So, other than the platform, the demonically deceived who are projecting onto everyone, what's the point? I'm not going to do an exorcism on this kid.
No. And Paul, you know what? I just kind of stepped out and recognized what I did too. That was a disrespect to you. You and I, we were having great conversations, and then
it was a disrespect to you, Paul.
I don't take
but
it
you
personal.
threw me in the backpack. Let's not get on
have to go there. This is your area, just like mine is mine. I get to do whatever I want there. You get to do the same. If you think there's value in entertaining it, you're free to do so. I can always leave, right? I'm not so high and mighty and important that I have to be the only one you interact with here. I mean, it is what it is, right?
I realize that. However, I know the viewers enjoy you. Many of them are friggin' triggered by you being here, by us getting along. But for the other ones, they get it like me and enjoy you. So I'd rather have us get along than entertain the nonsense of broken fucking children.
I think it's already had 3 years of it. Your platform, if nothing else. Presuming you want to respect yourself and the truth and what you say God has revealed to you, it's more of a disrespect to you and your experience and the audience who comes here to be a part of that. Whether I agree with it all the way or not, that's the reality of what's going on here.
Right. It is. It's my self-sabotage. It's signs of my self-sabotage. That's the only reason I would even consider allowing it. And, but at the same time, I don't mind playing around with broken fools. Sometimes they're entertaining, sometimes they're annoying, but if you can find that balance, that's something I've been learning from you, Paul. You do a great job of just flowing with whatever shows up. And these guys have been helping me learn that.
That's subjective, Jack. From my experience with Paul, it doesn't take much to set him off to get you backstage, just like you. It's kind of similar there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. See, you want to make false equivalencies. I'm more than capable and even willing. I'm not saying Jack's not. I'm saying he's chosen that. I'm more than capable and willing of running a broadcast and doing it myself. Why would I allow a whole bunch of other people to come in and shit all over what I'm able to do and create that the audience wants more of anyway? no offense, don't take this the wrong way, but the audience is not looking for you and Tommy and whoever else. If they were, they'd be abundant on your channel. They're not.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
at
looking
some
for
point, you
Tommy
gotta accept
either,
that
but
reality. I'm here
unfortunately,
to
the
do
more
the
this
Paul
conversation
Unslaved
goes on, the more I see his
broadcast.
perspective.
You're talking over me
crazy.
because you don't want to accept the reality that's uncomfortable for you. I'm
Tommy
sorry
talked
that's
over you, and then
uncomfortable.
I talked over him, and then I got put
Again,
backstage
I
for
don't
doing
show
so.
up every day in my area to do a broadcast to entertain all of the cast of characters and usual suspects who want to shit on their own platform and shit on mine. I don't get value out of it. Like as a creator, monetarily, on any level, I don't get that. Socially, I don't get value out of it. Am I a bad, wrong person for just being straightforward and honest, setting boundaries and holding to them? For me, my health, my creativity, my audience? No, I think that that's discipline and will. I think that's showing self-care. I think that's showing a responsibility and accountability to who showed up to be a part of what I'm creating from the beginning and what I'm a part of. Simple. Nothing before or after that. The fact that you folks make it something other than that is your egotism and narcissism and manipulations and deceptions and power games, right? It's not me. I have a right to set a boundary and enforce it, to create and to serve the way that I've been shown is valuable and the way people feed that back to me. Okay? So go figure that out. Once you figure that out, you'll probably be more successful at whatever you do, because you'll take that perspective and attitude to your area and your creations. Imagine that.
They're resistant though, and their resistance has created their confusion. They don't want to learn from. Here's something a thought came up with you and I, Paul. These people, and I put Truther in the back because one thing you don't get, your timing, dude, is horrible. And you're talking over what you shouldn't be talking over, and you're interrupting when you shouldn't interrupt. And that's like the patterns of so many of these people. They don't know what they're doing. Now I took myself off the point where I was going with what you said. I hear the ice cream truck if that's coming through. Paul, what you're being tested. What I see people doing is they're testing themselves, they're testing each other, you know, they're throwing out these jabs and throwing people like Snafu and many people, they throw out a bunch of garbage to see what sticks. Well, you and I stand out. You stand out in your way, I stand out in my way, and we seem to attract people who want to test us and test themselves. But I feel like you and I, we've been through enough tests that these silly little games are not really that fun anymore. Right?
Right. At a certain point, you know, I entertained it for years. I went to abysmally low numbers like all their platforms reflect. People go, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You have other stuff you can do and be and present that you're passionate about. Why roll in the mud? So at a certain point, I had to take advice and a suggestion from my constituency, from the folks who show up to be a part of what I'm doing. And it makes sense. You know, it's quote unquote unfortunate, right? If we want to feel into it some way, somehow, but it's necessary. It's such as life, right? It's why I don't give my bank account, social security number, and keys to my house and on house to the people behind Walmart for some strange reason, right? I don't do that because it's probably not going to be beneficial to me or them.
Right. And this is what I think some of these people haven't realized. They get very caught up and worked up in their battles, wanting to prove you wrong, prove me wrong. So they say, destroy us. But they're missing out. They're missing out on what could be learned, what could be accomplished. And if they would just learn, if they would just stop resisting what they know, and what they know is they can learn, and if they would just learn, then they could walk away knowing more than they ever knew before. And then they could leave our lives, Paul. All they got to do is just accept what's being offered. But we can't.
Again, you're speaking from a perspective of folks who are wanting to be self-aware, presuming they're not, wanting to fix themselves in their life and their presentment and behavior, and not. That's not there. You're wishing and hoping and praying for something that hasn't been shown. You know,
Not
so while
yet.
it could appear as somewhat honorable or noble, I think that, like you said, you hit on it. It's something deeper here about self-sabotage, right? We must not really believe that we could be successful doing what we're doing, saying what we're saying. Because if we did, we would not allow this to interfere with that.
Okay.
It's a great excuse for us to sit back and go, I'll do the Talcott. You know, I could be somewhere and should be more successful if it wasn't for all these people around me. I mean, I didn't do that. I'm not going to do that. And I suggest you not do that. Just fucking cut out the cancer within yourself and within them and just do and be and live right and have better. That's the practice here, right? And the minute you do that, watch how all the people who say they love you and they're your friends go crazy and try to keep you stuck in the addiction and the dysfunction and denial and disempowerment. You got crab bucket syndrome in these places, right? And a lot of the chat reflects it. The chat reflects these characters. Addicts who are not self-aware, who don't want to do and be and have better, don't have any mission or goals or career path, don't have any large passions that they're living through or expressing, but they're here all day, every day to tear everything down, to project, to live in hate from their chaotic, confused standpoint. I mean, hello?
There's many of those, but I don't want to overlook the others.
I'm not saying it's everyone. I'm just saying there's a large contingent of folks who are reflecting each other and reflecting the same dynamics that live within us. Then at a certain point, we got to get with what the universe is showing us and attempting to lead us and teach us in, right? That's the work. That's the shadow work, no?
That's the key. Finding the wisdom. Finding the wisdom in everything. That's, I think, the game. It makes sense. Life happens, you know, good and bad, but there's always something to be learned, something to be gained, something that can be pleasant and found to be of good quality. That's the key to, it's the key to so many things. But Paul, there's something I'm convinced of. There's mystical aspects to the realm of consciousness. And, you know, what we don't know, we don't know. Tommy's in the back, Snafu's in the back. They're examples of two men who don't know what they're doing. They don't see what they're doing. All they see is, I don't know what they see, dude.
They're going to make the same claim about you, and they're going to have more evidence than you because the evidence is going to be them being here. They're going to say, you don't know what you're doing, Jack. And they're going to be right because you have them here regularly, taking over whatever you're doing when they don't know what they're doing. If you ran a deli here or a life coaching center or a retreat or anything, would you let these people on stage every day to grab the microphone to talk to whoever, 5, 10, 50, 500 people, however many, who show up to be a part of whatever's going on here? For what reason?
Very good.
It's beyond trauma bonding. It's beyond dysfunction.
It's like just self-mutilation. It's stupidity. I get it. And this is why I'm trying to figure out, what do I do with this situation? Is my test, is my lesson to just shut the door on these guys and completely just think about me? Or, and it's not just me, it's thinking about what can be achieved if I shut the door and I get away from these guys.
It's not about you. You got to get selfish to get selfless. That's something that I've come to realize. And there's a fine line there between, you know, truly selfish in a positive sense versus a negative sense, right? So again, what does recovery teach us when we go to NAAA? You got to cut off the destructive influences who are going to try to deceive you, manipulate you, and tempt you back into your regression, right? Relapse is part of recovery. This is just another addiction and another dysfunction that stems off of our addictive personality that encompasses self-sabotage, right?
Dude, I wish I could. How do I show this screen to show the backstage? I've got to figure. I got to show this, because what you're talking about.
You're a LARPaholic, Jack. Brown's boy just diagnosed you down there. He's one of our counselors.
Oh, he's got me, dude. He's got me for sure, man. Here, what you were talking about in the back, I've got Snafu, Tommy, and Landry. Landry's here
Imagine
now
how
too.
embarrassing it is. These folks walking around town staring at their phones, just engulfed with emotion and energy toward you or whatever's going on, right? Just in a desperate, needy, addicted state, and just unwilling to even see it for what it is. They all have a reason why they're there, and they're going to change the world or help Jack in his chaos and confusion while you help them, and we go to hell together, right? That's all this is. Bunch of addicts who are going to go to hell together.
Yes. Well, I think they're trying to drag me into their hells because they don't want my help. They want to help me. They want to point out all my errors, all my problems.
Well, let's be really clear, Jack. I told you this 3 years ago because I've experienced it. You were one of the people I experienced it with, according to me, whether you agree with that or whether it's factual or not. People come to a platform that have more numbers than them to get well known so they can drag people back to their hole. This isn't that complicated. It's literally just manipulative cross promotion. Tommy, every time he gets up here, says, "Come to my panel." He literally reveals himself on every level. He's not here to save your soul and talk truth. He's here to promote his shithole and drag people back there so he can proselytize and harangue the non-munity for hours at a time, right? That's all this is.
I know, dude.
So you're letting yourself be used. Do you like looking like a fool and being manipulated and deceived and having these people all think you're weak and foolish? Because that's what they're communicating. Jack's so weak and foolish and gullible. He'll think we're here today to make a change or be part of what he's doing. We never are. It's obvious. We come in even singing the praises of what we're doing in destruction and manipulation. And let's see if we can get trauma bonded to a few more people and drag them back over to a hate fest. Is that what you want to be part of and promote? That's what you have to ask yourself. My answer for 6 months straight now is no, I don't, and I will not be part of it. And they've all disappeared, oddly enough. They've all attached to you, oddly enough, because I set a boundary and enforced it. They can no longer use me and abuse me. They're on to you now.
It's fascinating, Paul. Sincerely, there's a reason our paths crossed, for sure. And when I joined, I wasn't initially just thinking about my own subscribers, my own viewers. That really wasn't it. Some of these people, I don't know if they're consciously doing that or subconsciously. Like, I mean, right when you were talking about that, Truther Cop showed back up. So I thought, well, that might be a sign, you know. But there's something greater than that. All of our karmic paths, all of our choices, whether conscious or unconscious, it's brought us together. And these guys, all of this online experience has helped me learn about me. And I've been studying people. So
I'm not denying that, Jack. I contend the same thing. I just won't feed into what it's supposed to be more than what it is. We have the glasses to see what it is and what it's supposed to be. It's not that by the choices of the individual. So there's nothing to work with. If you want to show up every day and say it's a new day, hey, are you coming in peace to co-create and to serve God and the truth? Or did you come to kill, steal, destroy, manipulate, deceive, cross-promote, and all the rest? And it's very quick and simple to see who's who and what's what. Or just feel the energy and alignment. And if it's not that, bye. They'll either get with it or they'll get lost after a certain amount of time. You ain't going to change them by enabling them and letting them take over and spew their garbage.
What will help them is to help them see their behavior. And this is just it. If people want to join, and I actually invite people, feel free to promote your channel in the chat. I don't care. And even if people want to use me to promote themselves, I don't mind. However, don't do it and try to manipulate me and try to make me look bad and think you're getting something over on me. That's a bunch of bullshit. Tommy, Snafu, Cupcake, Landry. Oh dear.
Quite frankly, I'm the only one who's gotten away for it just because it got old and boring. Anyone can get old and boring with the same thing day after day. And beyond that, my conscience of, Jack has a lot of tests and challenges in his life. He's got personality disorder like I do to some extent, or has had it. It causes him to be alone a lot of his life, right? Or just his visions or supposed understanding. I can relate to all that. Do I want to be a part of, if something were to ever go bad or wrong, Jack wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, right? Doesn't like what he's been experiencing. It kind of hurts him and disappoints him, and he fucking offs himself. Do I want that on my head? Because I want to use him for nonsense that after 3 or 5 years is already circular and boring and just kind of a distraction from whatever I'm doing or have to present. So it's like, if you really cared and you really were conscious of your decisions and what could happen and the fact that the audience is over it, you just fucking stop and move on. If you weren't just painfully addicted to destroying yourself and others through playing this fucking circular power game every day, isn't it exhausting for you people as well after a certain point? Like, aren't you fucking tired of this shit?
It's yeah, if at some point they've got to be tired of it. They'll eventually wear out. What is Tarek, Paul, Jack, Snafu, Cynthia? Paul, if you don't want to feed it, you would clean. You're Tarek. If that's I don't even think that's the real one. These people are just schmucks. And
no, that's him. But again, I cut all the cancers out. They have no more forum with me. They can't get to me and they can't project onto me, right? So they try to do it here and other places.
It's crazy. I know they do. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, go watch my last 50 to 20 broadcasts, right? None of these characters appear there. None of this crap is there. None of the circular fighting and arguing. If you attempt to push my buttons, I just throw you out and move on. Yeah. Very simple. Because I care about myself and my broadcast and my health and my life and the content that I put out to some degree. And I really do believe I'm better off alone. If this is the alternative, right?
Right. Exactly, Paul. This is something I realized, and I realize I've allowed myself to slip quite a bit in the online, and there's reasons for my choices, but I made a commitment to myself a long time ago. I would rather be alone than be with people who can't appreciate me. And yet, I keep allowing people who don't appreciate me to spend time with me publicly, and that's just...
Or at least the message and the cause. I'm sure there's plenty of people who don't quite like me and everything that I do. Maybe not even respect me or whatever I do, but we are unified in the cause and the message. That's our common bond. If you ain't got that, you ain't got nothing anyway, let alone the rest of this dysfunctional behavior.
Right. Exactly. And some of these people, dude, I don't want to keep talking about the people in the back. Paul, I want to thank you, but I'm feeling maybe it's time to start wrapping her up. What are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Good to go either way, man. You're driving the train.
Well, I'm looking at the back, and you and we could keep talking, actually. And maybe we could, but the folks in the back, it's just fascinating.
I think you should take this opportunity, since it's indirectly still talking about these people, but not so much, and it's feeding their obsession. Right? As they're calling you and others narcissists, they're literally narking harder than anybody else here. Just chasing people around, won't go away. Got to get their fix. Got to be seen and heard. Got to drag people over to their area to watch them and listen to them talk about other people because they're so great and so informed. I think this is a great opportunity to invite other people up who maybe have never been on panel before or have been, like, sparingly, because they just don't want to be in between a fuck fest constantly, a proverbial zoo. Now's the time for those people to come up, share your perspective with Jack. What are you seeing? What are you experiencing? What do you want more of and less of? I mean, if Jack's in a service position here, then he's the servant of you folks on some level. So this is the time where you give some feedback, you get involved, you help to co-create something outside of what we've been experiencing, right? Get involved, contribute, be a part of building something bigger and better instead of sitting back, bitching and complaining or just leaving, right? That's my suggestion.
I love it. Paul, thank you. And that is a great suggestion. Someone did ask who was in the back. And so we've got our friend Snafu Snaps. He's been there, I think, the longest. And then Illuma Tommy. And then Cupcake Landry. And then Truther Cop has been having signal issues. He's been popping in and out in the back, I think. But
I think Snafu, from the little I heard of him earlier, was being fairly rational and reasonable, fairly tempered in his approach and presentment and his energy. And he was, providing a criticism or critique in a functional way, and or resigning himself to what he has been shown and told is the truth. So, I think you go with what's shown and what is till it's not, right?
Fair enough. There was a reason I put him in the back, and I'm sure it was because he was starting to run with some insulting narrative. But tell you what, Paul, you can be reasonable, and you do have a way of communicating. Let's see how Mr. Snafu can do. Now, please, let's try to keep it positive, Mr. Snafu, and maybe forward focused.
I got a mission for you. You want to do boots on the ground? You want to help the communities? You want to do what's right? Then you should go over to Chaotic Truth and ask him why he is hiding a video where Daddy went and destroyed the community teaching liberty, freedoms, and because Chaotic Truth is a pogo, Trumpy, and anyways, we went over there, had a very good interaction with the community, and because it doesn't align with Chaotic Truth, he told us that he was going to get this video out, but now he's saying he's not. And so you want to do boots on the ground, Jack? Why don't you go over to Chaotic Truth and say, why are you hiding the video that Paul Enslaved came to educate you guys, and try and get us that video so we can review it? That would be you doing boots on the ground, helping the community. And because he's kind of protecting his daddy Trump with his little red hat, and the community, maybe this is something Jack Talcott could do for all of us, boots on the ground, and it would be beneficial. That's all I could say.
It's a fascinating and creative idea, Snafu. Thank you for the suggestion. What are your thoughts on that, Paul? Should my efforts be with Chaotic Truth to get him to uncover your talk over there?
That's up to you. That's your decision, right? I think that I was uplifting and inspiring those folks over there with Eternal Truth. I think they all agreed with that. I wasn't there to destroy. So I get what Snafu's saying. If anything, by uplifting and inspiring with the Eternal Truth, the lie is dissolved or destroyed, right? But again, the rest of that is on each individual over there, right? If they want more of whatever I perceive and others perceive as the truth working through me, then they know where to find it. If they don't, they're free to stay in their area and perpetuate what I perceive to be mass deceptions, right? That's their free choice, free will prerogative.
Well, what I'm saying, Jack, is it's different from the loop. It's different from the thing. This is a chance for you to actually, go over there, have a chat, and delegate, as you said earlier, because the optics of what happened during that stream were very telling.
Please. Okay.
Well, what are you going to do? Just go on YouTube, press the button, and talk what you talk about for years instead of doing anything?
Holy shit!
I'm giving you optics of what you can do.
Please stop repeating and stop describing what you're repeating. And
what you did this whole stream, talking about all of us in the backstage, like you're better than us. And
I feel that at the moment, Snafu. Not gonna lie. Because you don't know when to shut up, man. You don't know when to stop.
I think there has to be that nuanced understanding of being better versus choosing better to do better. And that could just mean stop yelling and screaming and fighting constantly. It's not working. It's not getting anywhere. It's not healthy for anyone. And it's not the most authentic form of expression, while many claim that it is. It's a cover for something else. Right? So It's not about you're bringing pride and arrogance into the non-versation. It's about literally making a decision, like we talk about privately, regularly, Snafu, making a decision to choose and do better for ourselves, even if that just means removing certain behaviors, people, places, and things that are detrimental, deleterious to our body, our life, our lifestyle, and what we want to experience and create. There's nothing wrong with that. There's actually something right with that. The absence of that is a complete asylum shit show, if you haven't noticed.
It is. And this has been the frustrating or challenging part of all of this. While I talk about big goals for the future, the practice I'm trying to offer and remind people is how to be present. And what happens is I see these people, they just get into an idea and then the idea takes over their mouth and then just keep going on and on from one idea to the next idea. And then there's no conversation. I mean, I've tried talking with Snafu so many times, and Tommy and Cupcake Landry. They don't seem to have the capacity or willingness. They have the capacity. They haven't found the willingness to actually shut up and listen.
And you got folks in chat now telling me, stop doing AANA. Why would I stop that when that was one of my breakthroughs to putting down pills and powders and creating a vision for myself, or being revealed a vision for myself and others, and creating a career and evaluation and all the inspiration and things that have come on my journey, right? That you and others don't have, because you literally have stopped NAAA. Stop projecting onto me that I want to live and be and wind up like you. I don't. That's why I won't stop NAAA, because some of you are great reminders of what we turn into when we don't continue on the path. Thank you for that reminder.
Well, yes.
Woman who's still on Suboxone when I put that down 8 years ago at this point. I don't want to be back on Suboxone. I don't want to be hanging with loser failures who destroy themselves every day. I want to do and be and have better. And if you'll walk with me, I'm there for you all day, every day with the truth. If not, I leave your ass where I found you, because it has to be that way.
Dude, she is so oblivious and clueless. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's rejected AA and NA, and she's still got the foolish mind of an addict. And therefore she's laughing at wisdom and those who are stronger and smarter than her. So I've felt a lot of disrespect from that young lady, but similar to Snafu, for some reason, she's been a part of this journey. So
this is the thing they don't realize we all go through. You don't think, imagine me the way I am showing up to NAAA. What do you think my first words were? As arrogant and egotistical as you all say that I am, right? And I might have been that and still be that to some extent. My first words were, fuck this place and everybody here. They don't know me and what I need. Boy, was I wrong on some level, because God had a plan, see? And God can use anybody and anything. And that's what that experience taught me, right? Wasn't necessarily about the all the individuals there and the individualized program. It was about a few folks there who were there for purpose and meaning and true power and value and co-creation. And they showed me, or helped to facilitate with me, what the experience of God and one truth, one life, one love, one way is really about, through their actions, through their fellowship, through what they're building and creating, right? So you can mock that and laugh at that because you're demonically possessed and you want to demean and devalue that so you can false equalize and feel better about the living hell that you're in. It doesn't wash with the rest of us. Just like it didn't wash with my big brain, big-hearted, prideful presentment when other folks who've seen and done and had better were there listening to it. All that they got out of it was, Paulie boy, you're a fool in your own way. And you're never going to make progress if you keep acting and living and thinking like this. And they were right. As much as I don't like to admit it, they were right.
It's fascinating how life unfolds itself. But truly, Paul, through our paths, we learned we learned what we learned, and I found value in the rooms of AA and NA, and the wisdom I found in there I took outside of the rooms and I brought into my real life application. And once you really bring in the spiritual aspects and you start committing yourself to being honest and authentic, the other shit, they become non-choices anymore. That's what I've learned. Drinking is a non-choice for me. The options are always there, but I don't want the choice. And that actually inadvertently swings us back around to some of these ideas of leadership and giving recognition to the source of what we know. The leadership is having the ideas, having the vision, having the willingness to accept responsibility for the choices. People who have been conditioned for obedience, they're afraid to ask questions and they're afraid to make choices. I used to be like that. I was afraid to ask questions. I was afraid to make choices because I was always afraid of making the wrong choice. But we got to overcome our fears because the truth is the only thing that matters. These little cupcake fairy tales that Landry and Tommy and even Snafu were playing, they're make-believe, guys. You guys are going to have to grow up at some point and stop with the games and the nonsense. And Paul, thank you. The fellowship today and the authentic, honest feedback was a great reminder for me. It's time for me to start cleaning things up a bit. And doing great. How did Snaps get a wrench? Well, I wanted to level the playing field for him because it appeared he'd show up and get timed out and blocked all the time. So I wanted to level the playing field a little bit for him. And for the reactions. I love it when people react, just like Snafu loves it when people react.
There's the addict in you again. There's a little devil. You got a little devil in you. We all do.
I know. We're all a little bit effing weirdos. We are.
Now, see where I think we direct our demon to a positive and productive space, knowing that people would be even more reactive, is by being the true leader. So you want to talk leadership and working these people into it, then your leadership is, we're going to come here every day. We know what we're going to get on some level. If you come in and you play this game, I'm going to cut you the fuck out and go on with my monologue and my content. That's going to be your form of leadership, because people are either going to start replicating that in their own area or when they come here, or they're not going to be here to be seen and heard, right? So that's indirect leadership by you taking accountability, responsibility of what you're doing and not doing, feeding into and not feeding into, what you're creating and not allowing to destroy, right?
Well, yes. One way or another, we're all examples for each other. And I hope to provide a good example. I make a lot of mistakes, but I'm also one who's willing to correct the mistakes. And I am committed to these goals of achieving. And there's a lot of people who've taken a lot of time and effort to bet against me. But Paul, that just builds the fire, man.
Well, then you got to keep that in mind. There's going to be a bunch of people out there who say, Jack's saying this now, and Paulie's being reasonable with them, and he's having kind of a breakthrough moment, but he's going to go back and do it again. And they're going to use it as an excuse to do the same behavior in their life, right? Yep. So that's the fine line between leadership and misleadership, and then reflecting what the state and all the corporate beings are doing, right?
Yeah.
You know, it may be one big mirrored holographic reflection. So don't discount yourself that there's a certain contingent of folks who come here, and even if it's unconsciously, will take a cue from you. And they'll say, you know what? I watched Jack a month straight say, fuck all the nonsense and the garbage and do and be and have better for himself. I know I can do it. There's going to be people who say, if they can't see you do it here with all we've talked about and all this, but then they're going to say to themselves, you know what? I can't do it either. It can't be done. So we'll just accept this fucking detritus for ourselves and each other and go to hell together and go into dis-ease and chaos and confusion and all the rest of it, as you like to talk about so regularly. And I get it, you know.
It's all coming together in a dysfunctional way, Paul. It's everything is coming together. And I see a lot of pieces, not only in my life, but other lives and other pieces in the world. The future of humanity. If we pull our heads out, if we help each other, pull our heads out of our asses, help each other recognize the blind spots and stop enabling the addiction, stop enabling the poverty, stop enabling the problems. We're going to, dude, the future looks bright.
I encourage you to start seeing it that way, because there's times where I do that as a simulation. I see my area and my life as the old drug house I used to hang out with on the block, where I'd cut school and go there and anything goes, right? There was no standard. There was no dreams. It was absent of dreams. There was no passion. It was disempowerment, right? And it was anyone can show up. Anyone's a part of it. We can all get high together on our drug of choice while we destroy ourselves and each other and go nowhere in life. Do you want to replicate that house here in front of all these new people and opportunities for all of us to do and be and have better? I don't think so. And I think it's a great disservice to you and to ourselves and each other and what God has blessed us with, right? Mr. Talcott, I don't know if you're aware, but most people can't get 40 to 70 to 100 live viewers regularly and 500 to 1,000 after the fact. It's a great starting point. And I'm sure it could be so much more if you really pour your heart and your passion and care into it and stop letting anyone, I don't care if it's me or anybody, fuck up whatever you believe you have going with you and God and the people, right? I'm not going to. So I have to give you the same game that I'm going to hold myself to, right?
That's great advice, man, for all of us. We can all, not let the world kick us down. Don't let anything stop us. We can just stay true, but we've got to stay honest and stay motivated. That's for sure. And that's
okay. I know what you're thinking, Jack, and I can feel even in the chat, the toxically positive folks are waiting for the counterbalancing dark mirror. Let's give one last hurrah, bring everyone in, ask them their perspective on everything they just heard and saw, and potentially let them reveal themselves. One last hurrah for today before everybody then gets judged by God, and then we use our discernment here today to decide who's staying and who's going.
Well, admittedly, the field narrows itself, and there is only one who is truly dedicated.
Wow.
But the other one was quick to return. Illumitami, thank you for your persistence. Welcome back.
The last time you're gonna get it, Jack. Does it look like? What do you think it is with Paul and what do I call NPC? NPC the lame. What do you think it is with them in this constant reference to me being behind a dumpster? And if Paul's truly with 5 families outdoors, why are you still here doing the thing you say you departed from? Oh, you left us all, as you're here every day to tell us you left us all. Okay. Jack, I'm not going to come back. I'm going to help you clean house, Jack, because just that stream I linked for you to play, it showed you saying I need to join you to throw Paulie and Flow State and everybody for a loop. And when I tell you why I can't trust you, you're doing it today. I'm done with both of your shit, and I'm going to do the thing you guys hate the most. I'm going to leave it to the video meister, Evil Chev. Go fuck yourself.
Wait, so you're saying now, how many times has it been the last, by the way, for the unwillful, undisciplined person who just says stuff and doesn't stick to their word because they're not an honorable, good faith person? How much does everyone want to bet that it, and now I can set the timeline to where I guarantee that this bet will be won.
I've heard him say it 3 or 4 times
What's
before.
the over?
You're right. You're not wrong there, but just to write him off.
Why are you talking over me?
Because I was invited to come here. I was invited to come here and release my perspective. Finally,
to come here, but
I've been sitting in the back for a while, and no, I'm
okay. So
that
like
was
I
your
was
idea,
saying.
Paul.
It's not about the idea. Again, they get to get judged by God, and we get to use our discernment to see who's who and what's what. It's obvious. Passive aggressive power gaming on all sides. Tommy, I could predict you will not stay gone from here. If you leave here, you're going to have to find another place to go to chase and harass and engage in your lustful dopamine hits. Okay. While you claim to be another second coming, right? And do nothing on the ground as far as we can see to change anything, right?
Yeah.
So I want to bet here, if I was a betting man, you'll be right back tomorrow. And within a week or a month, you will definitely be back here because you've said it 1,000 times and you never stuck to it because you're not satiated by your hole over there. Your hole where nobody comes, where you're just angry and bitter and resentful, and you have a bunch of yes people around you who are afraid to question you. Your hole and the work you're not doing is not satiating you. It's not fulfilling to you, right? Okay, so you'll bring your toxicity somewhere else. I bet anything on it. And if not, then fucking good for you, man. Look at you go, kid. You're finally going to decouple from Jack and your codependency and desperation and go off and live your fucking life and do your own thing, just like Daddy here decided to do 6 fucking months ago. Okay, and that would be me. So God bless you, Tom. Godspeed. May the force be with you.
Dude, for someone who's willing, the edits of Tommy's last times, oh, they could be fucking hilarious, man. All of his last times he's committed to. And yeah.
And like everything else he commits to in life, he just can't stick to it. And everything Paulie boy commits to, he sticks to it and then some. That's why he's got to lie on me doing a 32-day food fast, lie on me and what I've gotten with value and whatever else that I don't like to talk about just because it's not good form, let alone I don't want people coming after me. And all the rest of it has to lie on another man's experience and or good works because he knows subconsciously and consciously there's not been one thing he said or committed himself to that he's carried out all the way. Another theme we have going on here with the addicts, isn't it? Isn't it, Mr. Talcott? Another team, isn't it?
It is.
Right. Zero dedication and will for a long game to finish what the fuck you start. God bless everyone. I'm going to take my leave. I'm getting a little bit activated. As you can tell, I get passionate over this truth. And I have a competitive streak in me, Mr. Talcott. You know that. But it's not about competition. It's about setting our marker and enforcing it, developing and practicing discipline and will, and finishing what the fuck we start and giving it away to the audience who we serve and being a servant of God. Au revoir, Mr. Talcott.
Hey,
till we meet again.
Much love. Thank you sincerely for joining today. Holy cows. We ran long. We had an abundance of interactions, a bunch of different topics, a bunch of different characters. Oh, let me exercise and offer some respect for the last guest who is waiting. Truth or cop?
I've been following you for quite some time with my lights on, Mr. Talcott. Why didn't you slow down?
I failed to see any jurisdictional authority over me.
Listen, just because, come on, dude. Don't hit me like that. I'm trying to fucking get somewhere here, dude.
I know.
I hear what you. I listen. I hear, dude. I hear what Illumitami's saying. I'm playing it up a bit because, you know, it is what he's saying, and what he's seeing is valid. With you and Paul in your interaction, and so and also your points are valid too. Your point and Paul's point are just equally as valid,
right?
And from my perspective.
Well,
right?
And here's the thing. Tommy brought up the fact that I said yesterday, if he worked with me, we could really show Paul and Flo and others. You know, I was honest. If Tommy worked with me, that would be a friggin' wild card. People would not expect that. But he doesn't have the willingness. So if he doesn't have the willingness, you better believe it. Another wild card would be if Paul and I found a way to work together. Or Snafu and I found a way to work together.
Right. Well, I see you're looking for those encounters. But however, the craziest encounter you could prove on YouTube, if you could prove this, Jack, that God is working with you, that's the greatest proof of all. I mean, you could establish that.
Right. But
so this is where Tommy's going with this whole, like, oh, you're like listening to Paul control the panel.
Here's what...
And you're backstaging me based on me trying to even push back against him.
You were interrupting and speaking over. The timing was horrible. And
Paul
regarding
enslaved and Illumitami interrupted each other nonstop,
your
as
excuses,
well as you.
well, again, this is the American way. Well, they do this, so I can do this. Bullshit. It's speaking over people doesn't help. It's not good for broadcasting. It's not good for communication. And that's exactly what you were doing. So I made a choice. Whose voice do I want to hear? Well, no offense, my friend, but I made my choices, and my choices, they seem pretty clear.
So what you're basically saying is that I need to pursue Paul and Slave for child support for leaving his son out here, Jack Talcott, in the winds to face Truth or Cop on his own?
No, because I'm just maybe tolerating or entertaining Truth or Cop, but he's not a threat to me. Not at all. So I'm going to continue because we got other
Well,
guests in
please
the
do.
back.
Oh, we got, all right, fine. Get to those guys. But Jack, I don't know, man. We're going to figure out what this is. I don't know what the dynamic is where I get backstage so often with you.
I know. It's like 50-50 with me. You never know. Snafu, what have we got going on with you, my friend? Let's be brief, please.
I honestly just want to know, do you feel you're better than the people you've been talking about backstage? Because if you really want to compare, I've done more than you. Boots on the ground.
Okay. All right. Well, you won then. You won. Snafu wins. Okay. He's done more than me. Boots on the ground. He said it, so it's clear. Stephen, sorry to have you back there so long. It's been an interesting day. How are you today?
Oh, hey, Jack. It has been interesting. God is working with me. God is with me. God is working with me. I'm having a blessed day. How are you doing?
You know, the topic today, once the panel opened, I didn't really get into the topic as much.
You got off
But,
topic?
well, it seemed that way because the idea was giving recognition to the source of what you know. And if we think about the source of what we know, eventually it all does come back to God. And in the conversations with Paul and Tommy and Snafu and Truther Cop, we didn't really discuss God a lot. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of going on in my own thoughts here. But it was
That's okay. You're having a Talcott moment.
I am.
But yeah, giving recognition to the source. That's why I was saying God is with me. God is with me. Sometimes it's that simple. When life gets confusing, you can just say, well, God is with me. Instead of letting everyone confuse you or, talk in my ear or try to pull me this way or that way, or God is with me.
Yes, and something I found very important for myself was to pay close attention to my words and then the reflection from my words. Because if you listen to your subconscious, if you're anything like me, what I'm talking about is I'll say something and then I'll hear explanations of why it's true, why it's real. And if you tell yourself God is with me, you'll find the evidence that proves you're right. If you say that God is absent from you, God is far away, God is mad at me, yep, you're going to find the absence or the evidence of that. We live in a realm where we're taught only believe what you can see. But the truth is, in order to see many things, you must first believe. You must believe in its existence. You must believe solutions are available. You must believe blessings are available in order to find them. And I do. I believe in blessings. I find blessings. And I hope to share them.
Belief is part of it. And I think science even proves that. because the double slit experiment, when they're looking at that electron, so the belief and the observer, we're involved in this. We're involved in creating this universe and this life. And if you believe in God and believe God is with you, God will be with you. Have you ever listened to Jesse Lee Peterson? He's a black guy on YouTube. He's pretty famous, actually. He's not like super famous, but he's been around for a lot of years. He calls people, instead of godless, he says gotless. They're gotless people. When he says it, but he's pretty cool, actually. He's pretty funny too. He has a good delivery, and he'll call people. He'll be like beta male, but he's funny when he does that. And he calls the people without God. He'll say you're gotless, and it sounds like GOT. And it makes me think of some of these people in the chat. They don't believe in God. So maybe what you're saying is right, because they don't believe. Maybe God isn't around them. But if they started believing, maybe they wouldn't be godless. Maybe God would be right there with them. So I see what you're saying.
And that theory is supported by scripture, and I can't remember the exact reference, but it just follows a perfect train of thought. God wants our willingness. It's through our willingness and openness that we do find. But if we seek to know God individually, not just through the religion, but if we seek to have a relationship with God, I'm confident it will be found. It'll be found in one way or another. If we think it's not going to be there, we're going to find the absence of it. So I started playing with these ideas. I mean, truly, part of self-development is goals, finding what your dream is. If you don't think about your dream, you're never going to pursue it. And this is what I realized about me. I'd been living in memories, always worried about the past, always bringing the past into my future predictions. And then as a result of that, it was pretty miserable. But now that I've learned to open my mind, to look beyond the problems, to go to God, I truly feel blessed and I'm excited. I'm ready to wrap it up. Final words from you, Stephen, please.
I thank you, Jack. Thanks for having me on. I just want to say I hope that the miserable, godless people find God and find happiness and do better in life and not wallow in that, and not wallow in misery and hatred, but look for God, believe in God, and you can do better. Everyone can do better. Tomorrow's a new day. Today's a new day. Everybody can do better. You don't have to stay in that same space, you might say. Or anyway, thanks for having me on, and I'll see you again later. Be blessed, everyone. Be blessed.
Much love. Thank you, Stephen. To all who joined, sincerely, we had some wonderful time with my friend. I consider he's been a role model, a younger version, someone who I admire, young Paul Unslaved. He helped me get my feet wet into this panel verse craziness. And it's been a wild adventure. All the different characters I've come across. And we had a variety of them come through again today. To all of the guests who chose to click the link, and whether I brought you up or not, thank you. Thank you for being a part of the conversations and the topics and today's experience. The idea of today, the live stream, in the background, a reminder, let's delight in the Lord. In the image, it's the lamb and the lion lying together with peace, innocence. That's what is available for us behind the corruption in the world. If you really humble yourself to the facts, go to the source of what you know, it comes from somewhere beyond you, beyond this world. All that we know of is from God through this life. And everything we've learned from ourselves or through others, it's through the interpretation of man, the consciousness of another human being. So don't deny the consciousness of you. Don't deny the words and experiences of another, because in the end, it is one glorious creation where you are the little g God of you. But to truly succeed with the little g God of you and your own self-rulership, it's important to go to the higher power, the higher source. My authority here in this world, to me, Jesus is king. The story and his choices, and he was here for a reason. And my hope and prayer is to be more like him, more like he, because I want to bring some love to you, some joy, some hope. And one day, prayerfully, God may allow more miracles through me. But until then, hopefully I can just get some smiles and some appreciation. I offer that to you. For those who are here and willing to return again, thank you. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all. Peace.